Don't want to give money to the oligarchs, but love lobbing Scorchers? Do we have a deal for you? MLS Season Pass is back on Apple TV with access to every single MLS match, including Leagues Cup and the entire Audi MLS Cup playoffs with no blackouts. It's not just the games, you get total access to the pre- and post-match MLS 360 whip-around show in both English and Spanish, and get live look-ins and highlights from around the league, as well as full match replays and recaps. Now, you can support our show by visiting lobbingscorchers.com/Apple TV to purchase your subscription and support our show.
Lobbingscorchers.com/Apple TV. Please, don't let the oligarchs win.
All right, can you guys hear me now? I'm going to wait for confirmation in chat. All right, thank you, Patrick. Appreciate that. Sorry about that, guys. Rough start to the stream. We were recording over at Noah's the other day and took the mic cables, and I just wasn't even thinking about that. So my bad, but we will fix it in good time. And for now, we're gonna have to roll with the less than ideal audio, but we're gonna make it work. But apologies for the technical difficulties. And honestly, frankly, wouldn't be a Lobbing Scorchers stream without at least one technical mishap. So it is what it is. Noah says he's going to run over with the cable and join the stream. Okay, thanks, Noah. Just buzz on in, and we can get this fixed. As I was saying while I was muted, I do have a big show planned for you all tonight. We're going to talk some Ryan Kent. There's updates with the Ryan Kent situation. Got Schmetzer sound on that I was going to play for you guys, and then react to, talk about that acquisition, which appears not just imminent, but all but complete. He's in the city of Seattle, so that's a big development. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to scout up the San Jose Earthquakes a little bit. Seattle's got a bigger game than it should be this weekend, considering that it's the San Jose Earthquakes in March. So we're going to talk about that. And get some league-wide storylines that I wanted to hit as well, and maybe some stadium discourse. We dropped another video today. So go ahead and hop in the comment section on our stadium video if you haven't yet. It's popping in there. So it's going to talk about that a little bit as well. Get some shilling out of the way off the top. We got like the video, sub to the channel, follow us on all socials. If you haven't done so yet, follow us on Instagram. We're growing our presence over there, and we've had some we've had some good traction on that. So yeah, it's going to be a good show. Bad start, but it's still going to be a good show. Thank you guys for tuning in and bearing with me as dealt with those audio issues. Also, shout out to our sponsors, Haxon for Men's, Podium Menswear, and Full Pull Wines. Please patronize all and support all of our sponsors. If you use our code LS with your order with Haxon Ferments, you'll get a free bottle of hot sauce with your order. We got a special project with them coming soon that I think you guys all are going to like. And lastly, we have a new interview coming out with Corey Hinthorn, who is the general manager of West Seattle Junction FC, which is the USL League Two club representing West Seattle, which started play last year. They're the Ballard FC rival, for those who might not know. Those are hot derbies, but we talked with Corey for a long time the other night. Excited for that to come out. He's a really cool guy, and we got a good window into what it's like being a League Two GM and everything that goes into that, and also just got some good insight on the club and the whole scene surrounding that. So definitely check that out and support your lower division local soccer. All right. As I wait for Noah here to bring over my mic cable, let's talk about some Ryan Kent, guys. Let's talk about some Ryan Kent. Hot off the press today. Get my screen sharing set up here. Hot off the press today from Sounder at Heart, Jeremiah Oshan. Ryan Kent is apparently already in town. Sounders head coach Brian Schmetzer has dropped some pretty heavy hints that a signing could be imminent. That's right. So Schmetz was on KJR. He was doing his KJR hit a day or two ago, and they asked him about Ryan Kent, and he was basically like, teasing it. Well, you might see something announced in the near future here. He said something to that effect. And then he was asked about that today, and he said pretty much the same thing. I wanted to actually play the Schmetz sound as well, and then I can react to that because he also had some takes on the Club World Cup. So I'm going to pull that up right now as well, and then we can talk some Ryan Kent.
The biggest thing I would want to ask is obviously on the radio you talked about Ryan being here. Is there a signing?
Well, I said there might have been a guy named Ryan here at SeaTac. I said I might have seen him in the facility today.
Other people saw him at the facility.
So I mean, you guys can read into that what you want. As soon as we get the blessing, we'll make an announcement. There's some legal things we have to do before we can make an official announcement. If that answers your question. Okay. All right.
So we were talking to Steph about this, but the prize pool came out for the Club World Cup, a fair amount of money.
Yeah.
Do you have any? I know there is a clause in the CBA that sort of addresses other tournaments, but does it feel like something where you're hoping the players are able to get a bigger cut than what would be otherwise guaranteed?
Well,
or how do you hope that money gets used? Let me put it that way.
Well, look, it's obviously a lot of money for the club. Where the club, how the guys upstairs use it, what the players deserve. I mean, that's going to be a good conversation because, look, the club can use the money for a lot of different good things. The players work awfully hard. I mean, they worked hard for that opportunity to play in this tournament, so they should be rewarded. But, if somebody asks me my opinion, I'll certainly, give it to them. But I'm sure that's going to be a group discussion. And we'll figure it out. The players are well compensated. They'll get money. The club's going to get money. So I think it's a win-win for everybody.
Do you hope that some of that money gets reinvested into a transfer fee? I mean, obviously, I haven't spent a lot of money on transfer fees lately.
Well, I'll stay away from that one.
Oh.
But yeah, I'm hoping that whatever the club does, they spend that money wisely, because again, we're going to spend, maybe not as much as the Atlantas or whatever, but we're going to spend money. We've always shown that if the team isn't going to be successful, then the club has always spent money. I mean, again, there's a lot of metrics that Tyler has upstairs. You can look at the clock and say we were 8 minutes away from maybe getting into overtime and hosting a final. We were close. I understand the disappointments of not beating LAFC last year in the semifinal of an Open Cup at our preferred locations. I get all that. And I get all the fans that say, oh, we need to score more. I understand all of that. But the team over the course of time has been extremely successful, in my opinion, including.
All right. A lot to talk about from Schmetz there. I let that sound run for his quotes on the Club World Cup and also his take just on the spending discourse. It seems like Schmetz has been paying attention to it. You know, we thought that he might listen to the pod, and I think he does. So shout out Schmetz. But yeah, a lot to unpack there. Tiago, we're aware of the mic situation. I'm rolling no mic for now. The cable is at Noah's place, so I'm rolling no mic. Hopefully, rolling no mic. Hopefully, the audio is good enough to get through it tonight. I'll have a mic for the next stream. But first, all right, let's talk some Ryan Kent. Schmetz indicated there that he's not only in Seattle, but is at the facility, and that there is just legal technicalities, last I's to be dotted, T's to be crossed, and then they'll make an official announcement. But it seems like this Ryan Kent thing is happening. So let's talk about that. We talked about it on one of our last live shows. What kind of our initial thoughts, but now that I've got to I dove into the YouTube highlights, I watched some of the film, and I learned a little more about him, and I feel like I have a bit more of an informed take on what I think of the whole situation now. I guess I'll start with this quote from Tom Bogert that Jeremiah cited in the Sounded Hard article. This is Tom Bogues, this is a national pundit, giving his thought on the Ryan Kent acquisition, which appears imminent. Tom said, if he's able to fit, I think this is a no-brainer. I think several MLS teams should have been in on this. Doesn't mean he's going to be a game-changing player, but I think he can be, and the risk is pretty low. So I guess the first thing that I would say is that after learning more about the player, reading about him a little more, and getting up to date on just his background and his career to date, I think he's got a little more pedigree than I thought upon first learning about it. It's definitely a distressed asset Moneyball type situation. Like if you look at his transfer market page, his peak value, it says on transfer market, was like 17 or 18 million. Now it's only a couple million. So it's definitely a situation where Seattle's trying to capitalize on that. But my read on it is it's definitely a worthwhile chance to take, especially taking into account the Paul Arriola injury. If Paul Arriola doesn't get hurt, this probably doesn't happen. But I think the reality with De La Vega at this point is you just need to proceed as if you're not going to get anything from him this year, possibly ever. So he's supposed to be back in a couple weeks, and if he comes back in a couple weeks, gets fit and looks like he did earlier in the season, then great. But the way I would be approaching and planning it is that's not going to happen. And so I think this move is kind of reflective of that to an extent. But as far as his skill set as a player, I think he gives creativity from out wide that is sorely needed at the moment. And we talked about this on the pod, but I think I like the intensity that he plays with. I like the fact that he plays like a maniac out there, I think is the term I use. That's kind of what I see when I watch his highlights. I see a guy that's just going like 110 miles per hour at all times, which there can be pros and cons to that, but I think that could be a good thing for this team. Like having someone who's high octane, high intensity, just runs a lot, works hard. It seems like from what I see, he has all those attributes. I think the questions, and I guess we'll learn more about this, but he seems like definitely like an eccentric personality, which might have rubbed coaches the wrong way at one juncture or another. It seems like he and Mourinho did not see eye to eye at all. So that's something to keep in mind. But I think he hasn't been playing for a while. He's been without a team for a long time. And I think it's definitely in his best interest to be fully bought in and not be a malcontent or have any attitude issues or anything like that. And honestly, I frankly don't even know if that type of stuff has been issues with him. I just know he had a falling out with Mourinho, or Mourinho never seemed to rate him. And there also is like a video of him that I found on YouTube of him getting into it with a guy from Celtic during the Scottish derby. That's like the biggest derby in the Scottish Premiership, and he punched a guy, which you can't do. But he does play with fire, so I like that. I'll get to a couple of things in chat here. The hang up is that they need to figure out how to register as pet croc. Yeah, so apparently they're actually alligators, which there's a big difference. But that's kind of what I mean when I say eccentric. Like, who has pet alligator? I wouldn't want a pet alligator. I don't really find them that cute. So, I mean, but he's got exotic pets, so that's one thing, I guess. We're going to have to ask him about that. I wonder if he's going to bring them stateside or if he's already brought them stateside. We're going to be on the alligator beat, keeping track of that. But as far as his player profile, like I said, seems like he offers some wide creativity and some wide service, which I think should be beneficial. I seem to have caused a minor controversy and outrage when I made a comp to Brad Smith on Lobbing Scorchers kickoff with Nico. I just to clarify that, I said that having literally never once watched him play at all to be able to make a comp to anybody one way or the other. The reason I brought Brad Smith up was because Liverpool Academy and left-sided wide player. That was literally it. There was nothing more to that than that. There's people in our YouTube comments who, he's not Brad Smith. It's not Brad. Don't call him Brad Smith. Which, first of all, like, the Brad Smith disrespect, I could do without. I like Brad Smith. I seem to be kind of in the minority on that. A lot of people didn't rate Brad Smith at all because I think the narrative with him was that he was a pretty good attacking player, but that played no defense as a fullback. But I always thought that was a little overblown. I thought his defense wasn't spectacular, but it was okay. And they have not really replaced the type of crossing ability and wide service that he brought to the table since he hasn't been on the team. So let's respect Brad Smith. But yeah, a lot of people were saying it's more Victor Rodriguez than Brad Smith, which I think, that could be accurate. I don't know how anyone's comping him to anybody. Like there's some people who apparently are like Ryan Kent experts, which I don't claim to be. But it does seem like, as far as the need on the roster with Areola going down, and also with De La Vega just being his reliability being an open question at absolute best, I think this is a step towards addressing that. And I'm willing to be open-minded about it, see what he's got. Hopefully he's bought in and the eccentricities don't become an issue. But I think he must realize that, having been without a club for as long as he has, and coming to this club, it is very much in his best interest to be fully bought in, locked in, help the team however he can. So let's hope he does that. I think Tom Bogue saying that he was surprised to see other MLS clubs not in on it was kind of surprising. So, all right, Noah's on his way with the mic cable, everybody. Noah's on his way with the mic cable. JP says, not saying he's going to be like Luanga or Mukhtar, but he has similar European pedigree, and these types of players coming from smaller European leagues tend to do well in MLS. Yeah, no, I think that's a good point. I mean, Seattle has had success with signings like this in the past. So I definitely think, if nothing else, these things, it might not work out, but I think the question you always have to ask yourself is the process sound. If the process is sound and it still doesn't work out, then at least you can say your process was made sense and the logic checked out. I think the logic does check out here. It's pretty low risk, and I think it's higher reward than I thought it would be, in the sense that, like I said, I think I kind of I considered him a more random player than he actually is. If you look him up, a lot of people, obviously, from the fact that he came up in a Premier League academy, a lot of people who follow the Prem seem to know about him, and he definitely made a lasting impression on the Scottish Premiership. Jeremiah noted it in the article, but he had 3 goals, 8 assists as recently as 2022, 2023. And also, he definitely made an impression in the Scottish derby against Celtic when he punched a guy. That wasn't a positive impression, but it was definitely an impression. So, yeah, I would say Bouanga or Mukhtar would be like, those guys are like MVP candidates. So that would be like the insane best case scenario. But he doesn't need to be that to be a meaningfully like needle moving addition to the team. And I think that's kind of where I would peg my hope. Maybe not, I wouldn't say my expectation, because I really have no idea what to expect, but my hope would be that if he's not a star, that he can at least, like I said, move the needle, put up some numbers on the stat sheet, and bring an element to this team that, with De La Vega constantly in and out of the lineup and Areola out for the year, they were going to be hurting for this type of skill set until De La Vega gets back. And like I said, like, it just feels like with De La Vega at this point, you can have hopes that he's going to come back and be fit and contribute for the rest of the season. I just would not bank on that. Matt Sexton says, I think the Johnny Russ comparison made a lot of sense. That's a good shout. High side, what Johnny meant to SKC. Low side, another player bringing chaos to a team that seems to need it. Yeah, I like that. I like that take. I think Johnny Russell is that's like a Johnny Russell or Sebastian Blanco, like that tier of player in the league. I think that is the hope here. That is the hope here, and I'm interested. I'm interested to hear him speak and learn about him a little bit. He definitely seems like an interesting guy. I don't think there's ever been anyone on the team who has pet crocodiles. So there's that. And on it, like, the more I think about it, the more I like the idea of some kind of eccentric personality joining this team. I've been saying for years that I've been saying that they're like too nice, like they need more dogs, they need more Ozzy Alonso type characters. He's not an Ozzy Alonso type character in like the like bruiser defensive midfield type profile, but if you watch his highlights, he plays extremely hard. He's just always running at top speed. It seems like maybe he needs to chill sometimes, but that's good. That's good. I like someone who doesn't have a lot of chill. Reese says this guy's not going to be match fit for weeks. He hasn't played minutes in 5 months. Okay, that's a good point. That is a good point. I think whatever benefit they're hoping to get from Ryan Kent, you're probably not going to see it for a little while. So, all right, Noah just buzzed in. He's got the mic cables, so I'll be right back. Mic cables. All right, Noah's coming up right now. We're gonna get this mic fixed. Like I said, it wouldn't be a Lobbing Scorchers stream without technical difficulties. It's funny because I thought I was just locked in and good to go, and then my mic didn't have a cable in it. So,
Chat?
what's up, dude?
What up? What up, chat?
It was a good start.
How's it going,
We
chat?
got an unexpected guest appearance. Unexpected Noah guest appearance. We probably both could have thought of that. But
Yeah, well, this is a rinky-dink operation.
it's a rinky dink off.
We work for donos, One dono, and I'll plug this mic cable in right now.
If you super chat it, I'll use a microphone for the stream. Tech support Noah, exactly.
It's a good thing we lived so close, huh?
Yeah.
Boom.
Okay, wait, I gotta switch the input.
Yeah.
Check.
There you go.
Check. We got a microphone.
Should I join in?
Yeah, you can. Do you have to plug in?
Yeah, I can plug in.
Cool. I was just talking more about Ryan Kent. So
Oh, let's go. Our favorite crocodile boy. Someone said it's crocodiles, not alligators, so we had fucked that up, but
yeah, exactly.
it's like the same thing.
What's the difference between a crocodile and an alligator? I guess I could have looked that up, but what is the actual difference?
I actually have no clue.
Here we go. Check. Am I louder than Ari? Am I the same? All the settings look the same. So
Their nose is the difference between a croc and an alligator?
there's no way that's a thing. You guys are making that up.
I'm gonna steal some water from the fridge.
Oh, there's nothing in there.
Oh, okay.
You just sink it.
I hope this cup's clean. I found it in my car.
Nice. Alligators have a broader U-shaped snout and preferring fresh water, while crocodiles have a narrower V-shaped snout and prefer brackish or salt water.
So which one would prefer the Pacific Northwest is the real question.
What would prefer the Pacific Northwest, an alligator or a crocodile? He's going to get asked about it at the presser. Like,
Dude,
he is.
I want to go to the zoo with them.
Straight from Google. All right. We got an unexpected Noah appearance on the stream. Noah, I was just talking about Ryan Kent for a while, and I was saying that I think that skill set wise, pedigree wise, and given the situation that they're in with De La Vega and Areola, like it's at least a worthwhile gamble, is it not? And then I think the thing that I was talking about right when you got here was just like the personality that he could bring to the team. There's eccentricities here between like the punch of the guy in the
we love a face puncher guy
in the Scottish Derby and the Crocodile ownership. Eccentric personality. Now, provided he doesn't punch anybody on the field, though, I think that's a good thing. Where are you at with this Ryan Kent thing now that it seems like Schmetzer was basically confirming it? So
yeah. Well, I think something you didn't. I don't know if you talked about it, but it was a really good bit that he did where at training 2 days ago he said, "I have no fucking clue who this guy is. Like, I legitimately don't know who this guy is. If they're gonna sign someone,
Schmetzer
you
said
guys,
that?
yeah." He's like, "You guys know more than I do." Then. And then after that, he goes on KJR literally that night and says, "Oh yeah, this Ryan Kent guy, blah 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 blah." I'm like, bro,
he's
such a troll,
he
dude.
loves giving the KJR guys the tea. Like he'll never give any of us that. But
he's a like talk radio head, which I think is kind of why he likes our show, because we do give kind of talk radio.
Did you
vibes.
catch the sound that I played at the top?
Yeah,
of the
dude. He literally hit on your specific talking point.
Well, yeah. Like it's definitely Schmetz is a
Schmetz listens.
Schmetz
We
listens.
know.
He's probably watching right now. What's up, Schmetz?
Yeah, what up, coach? Call in.
But I mean, any other thoughts, like just skill set wise, or what you think he's going to bring to the team? Like, how are you feeling about it all?
I think it's awesome, man. I didn't really have a thought on it initially because I just had no clue who he was, but I did some research after I read the Nico report, and he looks great, man. Like I'm not gonna I don't know. I saw a post by Jeremiah who was he's really high on this guy. I'm not saying that I'm low on this guy, but let's pump the brakes a little bit. Like he has not played in months, and he wasn't in favor with his club even when he was on the roster. So like I'm just a little like we're probably not going to see him until the Club
That's
World
what
Cup,
I was just talking about too. I mean, no, I think he'll be. I think realistically, I don't know, how long does it take to get match fit? Like a month? A month?
I think it depends, right? Like it depends because there's just such a difference with Major League Soccer. Like Major League Soccer is so different than a European league. I think the Turkish league is probably a little bit more comparable, but like MLS is just so physical. It's like so physically demanding. You run so much more than a lot of leagues. It's hard to like.
To me, he looks
compare
up
it.
for the physicality, and he looks like he's gonna have to get fit because he's been out for a while, but. Just
he's young.
Based
too.
on 28, right?
28's like your prime in soccer.
But
man.
I mean, obviously, YouTube highlights are one thing, so we'll have to see if it actually pans out. But from what I saw on the YouTube highlights, it did not look like this is a player where like cardio fitness was a question at all.
Right?
Like he looked like a runner to me.
Yeah.
And, like he's gonna, those could just be the highlights. But I think that it seems like. Once he gets up to speed, the fitness theoretically shouldn't be an issue. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
So
we'll see how he plays on turf too. I think that's another addition. He hasn't played on turf in his career, from what I can understand.
Well, it would be funny if he was one of those guys that just refuses to play.
Right, he just doesn't
want
to play. He's like, I'm just here for the paycheck, bro.
They can only play him on the in the road games.
How funny would it be if they lied to him? They're like, yeah, you can have your alligators here, and we play on grass, dude. It's great.
What did you think of Tom Bogue saying that he was kind of surprised that other MLS clubs?
Well, of course he was surprised because he didn't get the scoop. Tom, I'm calling you out right here. Nico got you beat, bro. What's up with that? I know that hurts your ego a little bit. Tom.
We always root for Nico.
We do,
Tom, but
I did see. Yeah, I saw what he said.
It's a good competition between the two of them.
I saw what he said, and I was interested because it is surprising that he wasn't on the radar for any other MLS teams. Like maybe this is a Craig Weibel masterclass, or is it like there's something else that we don't know? I mean, maybe it's just simply like no one had the roster space for him. Like I don't really understand, And I was thinking about this more because you can only have a certain number of international players and whatnot. This right here is one of the reasons why they didn't re-sign Nico Lodeiro. And I know that
this spot open,
and I know like we talked about it extensively.
Seldom seen good point from Noah. We got a seldom seen good point from Noah that I hadn't thought about.
I've been thinking about this for a while, and I think that as we talked about the Nico transition, this was really truly I think why they were like, I don't think so, because
we want the flexibility in case we need to make an in-season addition. We're not like tied to So and like I think. Not with Ryan Kent specifically, but what Craig Weib's part of the way he was probably thinking of it. It's like, do I want Nico at the vet minimum, or and now he's like, do I want to throw a dart at Ryan Kent? I think it's pretty clear like what the decision would be in that situation. So.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, at the end of the day, are you going to go with the legend who has a statue or the crocodile guy? Like I'm going with the crocodile guy. That's content, dude. This is a content first podcast.
We kind of got blessed with them signing the crocodile guy.
Yes, bro.
We did,
I'm telling you, Sounders PR right now, check your email because you're getting a request from me to go to the zoo with this guy. Like we're doing that video. I don't care what they say. I'm making it happen.
It's hard getting used to saying crocodile and not alligator.
Yeah, crocodile guy.
Bad Sequel says, does he look like he'd be able to fit Schmetzer's defensive responsibilities for wingers? So that's like one of the things about it that's TBD, because Schmetz, if you're like a total bum and on defense and don't press and don't defend at all, Schmetz isn't going to play you.
Yeah.
He's not.
No.
So
get ready to learn Schmetzer ball.
But
buddy.
like I said, like from what I
can glean from the minimal research that I've done, it really does not seem like work rate, effort, or fitness are issues with this guy. It seems like the issues are more like attitude, not really, he like clearly when you punch a guy on the field, like you lost your head a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think that's more where the potential downsides come from, more than like him not running or not working hard on defense.
I mean, we already got one of the crash out guys, so like 2 of them, why not? I don't care. I'm cool with this new wrinkle. The crash out moment.
If
is
nothing
kinda
else,
fire.
it'll add like entertainment value.
I don't care. I mean, as long as it's against the Timbers. Like
Right,
as long
so-
as he punches a Timbers guy, that's cool with me.
Someone in chat said that he was going to punch someone.
Oh, look,
against the
there we go.
Timbies.
Chat knows. Yeah, like
He's going to be a good character for that derby because like you
yeah,
like
bro,
the punch.
deploy him.
The punch was like
Rangers
the
Celtic,
the
yeah,
Celtic
right?
Ranger derby is one of the craziest derbies.
Which like that is honestly the worst
in
part
the
about
world.
him. He's a part of the fascist team. Like he was a
Rangers?
Rangers fan, so or a Rangers player. So like that's like his biggest downside.
yeah,
That
well,
he has to, he's coming to the woke city.
98 speed in FIFA 20.
Yeah, he
according to
was
Patrick.
he was like a very famous card in FIFA.
Oh, okay.
So
all
like
right.
I don't think that's our first famous FIFA card player, but it's definitely a thumbs up for him for his pedigree.
A lot of people talking about the fit with Rusnak. Rusnak can stop playing winger now and go back to the 10. Thank God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Jeremiah said he offers significant upside. So
I mean,
hopefully,
undoubtedly.
yeah.
If you look at the way that this guy plays, he's really talented. I think this is people hate, like, for one, we literally talked about this 2 podcasts ago about, is it time to count out Jesus Ferreira, which some people got mad at our clickbait. I'm sorry, we literally addressed that question. So whatever, but you have Jesus Ferreira who you're still integrating, you're figuring out what he's got. That was a great upside play. Once he gets integrated and, plays amazing, you've got him, you've got Ryan Kent, you've got Paul Arriola was looking awesome too until he exploded his, but there's always one, there's always one. But if you are going to Moneyball, which it seems like the Sounders, that's kind of their vibe right now, which whatever, they've been moneyballing well. Is that crazy to say?
I think they moneyball well in general, and people use moneyball in like a derogatory term, and I think I get why, because Seattle's transfer spending is not, like Schmetzer even said it in the video. He's like, we're not going to Atlanta it.
Yeah,
but,
that's what I'm saying. That's what he took from you, dude. Because that's our talking point. We say if you want to go watch a bunch of high spending transfers, go watch Atlanta. Bro, he listened. Schmetz, come on.
Moneyballing, all the best teams in the league are good at moneyballing. Like in a salary cap league, you have to be good at that. It's just that you have to combine it with spending, which, to be fair, the Sounders have done over the years, but not as much like in the last couple years, which is where all this
Wade is
consternation comes from.
Flinging poop in the comments here, saying Jesus Ferreira is trash. What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about?
I mean, he's not looked great so far, but
I think
he's
it is
not
trash.
It is.
Like,
it's
what?
early. It's early to call him trash.
Dude, he looked like a god in those Champions League matches.
He looked. I thought he looked good in the Champions League matches, and like I think we were all hoping he would adapt quicker than he has. But the reality is, we're going to need to give him more time to see if he can fit on this team one way or the other. I still think that I've watched a lot of him in his career, a lot of Jesus Ferreira. I know he's a good player.
That's what I'm saying.
I like already know it. He has been over the course of many, many years. So
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's not necessarily that I'm saying he's been playing well in the last few matches. I literally noted on the podcast, I said he has 0 shots. You can't do that. But also what I noted is if you look at his transition at the 9 in just 2 games, he's already looked like night and day in 2 matches. Now the next step is actually like taking chances, getting the ball. Schmetzer even talked about this. He said he's a very unselfish player and he needs to get more selfish when he's playing the 9. So I don't know.
Matt Sexton coming in with a $2 super chat. Thank you very much. Appreciate the support. Draft some historical Durs with personality issues.
Does Ozzy count?
I don't know if like personality issues is
Okay.
how I would describe that. But like Ozzy wasn't afraid to take a hard. I mean, you can't have this discussion without bringing up Dempsey.
Yeah, that's true.
You got the all-time like red card wedding
Mm-hmm.
notebook ripper upper right
Yeah.
there. Honestly, that is sort of what some of this Kent stuff reminded me. Like Dempsey was
Mhm.
honest, like Dempsey towed that line on the field a
Yeah.
lot, where he would like just get so angry
Yeah.
to the point where he would lose his head sometimes. Dempsey, more than any Sounders player ever, would just be on the ref
Yeah.
every minute of
In the ear,
every
chirping.
game, chirping the entire time, to the point where there was a lot of times where I was like, Clint, like lock in.
Yeah.
So, but like a little bit of that is not a bad thing. It's
No.
really not. And I think this team in particular could use that. And I would say if there's one thing that I'm most intrigued about with this potential seemingly imminent acquisition, Noah, it's that side of it. Like
Yeah.
even more than what he could bring as a player. The skill set I think makes sense, like for what they need. I think it makes perfect sense. But the just like the personality and how hard he plays the game, I think that stuff it has the potential to be beneficial. We'll have to see, but I think it's got the potential to be beneficial.
There's plenty of people who are like not on the field angry. Like I would say Nuhu is a draw. Like Nuhu likes to start shit. You know, he had the fallout too with coach last season. Raul towards the end of his career here was crashing out with the coaching staff. But I don't know if that counts. I don't know if that's attitude issues, quote unquote, as like
there's
on the
really
field.
like honestly, since they moved off Ozzy, it's been a lot of nice guys, which is fine.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine. Like they're all good, wholesome, happy family men that
Yep.
like if you met him off the field, you'd be like, what a great guy.
Mhm.
But you need a couple on every team. You need a couple just dogs. You need a couple guys that aren't afraid to mix it up, talk trash, play with energy and personality. You know, I think honestly, Ferreira has some of that, but it manifested. I think in the St. Louis game that manifested in a way that was detrimental.
Yeah, it was a little
So
silly.
You got to like. It's a fine line. I think Ferreira was towing the wrong side of it in St. Louis, and clearly there's been at least one instance in Ryan Kent's career. I mean, if you haven't seen the punch, it was
yeah, but if Ferreira had punched the guy like and like done a whole crash out like that, at least it would have been like a clip, you know? Like what he did in St. Louis was just like annoying.
He jabbed a guy.
But it's like just do the whole thing. If you're gonna do it, just do it, bro. Like I'm sorry, just do it. and then Schmetzer's like, well, it's because he was passionate about the game. Brian, come on, Brian.
A couple of people are saying we're getting Magnus Wolf Eikram name drops.
Yeah, there's another one in there that I feel like we legally can't even mention.
Yeah.
You guys read between the lines for that one.
Ariola felt like he was gonna be a dog, then the knee. Yeah, like he
Ariola's a nice guy, dude, though he's not a like he's
off
not
the
like
field
that.
he is, but on the field he's got a little bit of juice to him.
But he's just like
he's not really what we're talking
he's
about.
the
though.
dude you see at church next to you on Sunday. You know what I'm saying?
He is
like
a
he's
very-
got his cute little kid and his
which
wife.
is a nice, which is a good thing.
whatever.
It's a good thing to be a nice guy. We're not hating
Yeah.
on nice guys, but
Yeah.
maybe Ryan Kent will just add a little jolt.
Yeah,
you
a little
know?
British gruffness.
little British gruffness. Noah, anything else you wanted to get with Ryan Kent or
I'm taking
we-
him to the aquarium. Did they have crocodiles at the aquarium or at
no,
the
no,
zoo?
the aquarium's like fish.
But like, is it a
sharks.
fish? Is it a mammal?
It's not a fish.
Is
It's
it a
reptile. It's a
marsupial?
reptile.
Bro, I don't know. I didn't finish college.
I think it would be at the Woodland Park Zoo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, does anyone have like is there a private zoo around here? We should go to one of those like problematic private zoos where you can like pay to like hold them or whatever.
I would not do that.
Yeah.
I wonder if he holds and pets the crocodiles.
Yeah. Wait, can you look up if the Woodland Park Zoo has crocodiles?
Yeah.
Because this
can.
is actually important information that we should like look up.
Ooh,
Oh, did they die? Oh, they
Hmm.
retired. They retired their crocodiles.
the crocodiles at Woodland Park Zoo unfortunately retired. How does a crocodile retire?
I think it might. think it might die already.
Oh,
I think it
okay.
might. I don't know.
What I just saw was that they had crocodiles that pulled up on Woodland Park Zoo in 1973. So
That's
So yeah, I mean, like
they live a long time.
I think the fact that Ryan Kent has us all learning about crocodiles is that's already
That's
honestly
sick, dude.
that's already a positive for his presence on
Yeah,
the team. in
they
my
better
opinion.
get him in like a safari outfit for his like announcement video. Do you know what I'm saying?
They have to
Like,
maximize the crocodile
yeah.
content.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like that's like so emasculating though. You're like, I haven't played soccer in 6 months because I got in a feud with my head coach and now they're making me put on a fucking Crocodile Dundee outfit. But you know what? Content comes first, folks.
Max, we were name dropping players with attitude problems.
Yeah.
So if you have anyone to submit for that, Ozzy, Clint both came up. Wolf Ikram came up. Was he? Okay. The Wolf was an example of a guy who just didn't jive with Schmetz's like how he expects you to play at that type of position. The Wolf did not really care about defending.
No.
He dropped some nice dimes and he scored a nice goal in Champions League, if I remember correctly. That he scored in that Santa Tecla series that we were
Oh
talking
yeah,
about.
dude. That was a good.
And I was
yeah.
like, this guy seems kind of nice. Like this could have been a good pickup. And then he just didn't defend ever. And Schmetz was like, I'm never going to play this guy. And they let him go. But have you followed his career since he went back to Sweden?
Yeah.
He was really good.
Yeah.
Like he became like a club legend for Molde or whatever that club is called.
Yeah, you know,
So he's a captain and like scored a bunch of goals for them. But that's like if Ryan Kent comes in and is like a repeat of that, that's going to be a situation where he's not going to end up playing.
Yeah.
So
Matthew Sexton saying low side of Ryan Kent is saying something more offensive than Arriaga. Well, he was a Rangers player, so you know, you never know. Just kidding.
we got to steer clear of the controversies. Wingo transferred to Molde too. Oh man, that's
Dude,
another-
they are we are a feeder club for them. Unfortunately, like our crash outs go there.
Wingo actually had a respectable European career. He was playing in Hungary for a while. Played in UEFA Champions League, I want to say at least a couple
So
times.
is this guy.
So,
This guy played in Champions League like within the last year.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's crazy.
And like
For free, that's a good.
the more I look him up, the
Craig
more
was grinding on Transfer Market, bro.
the more I look him up, the more I kind of realize that his pedigree and profile just globally, like it's like kind of big news in the global soccer media sphere that that this guy is moving to MLS. So take that for what it's worth. It could be worth nothing, but it's definitely like when we learned about this in real time live on stream, I was like, this seems like kind of a rando. It's not that. It's really not like that much of a rando. It is a guy.
It's a good guy. It's a guy who can be good.
It's a guy who has been good at different junctures in his career. But I do think the fitness thing is real. Like he's not going to be playing for at least a few weeks. Like no matter how hard you're training on your own, which I'm sure he's been doing for the last few months, you can't really replicate.
You got to learn
game
the
speed,
system,
game fitness, learn the
and
system,
everything. Yeah.
Victor
It'll be
Mansoret.
Oh,
Max,
dude, that's a
that is
throwback.
that is a good name drop. Vic Mansoret. He was the original. Like, was Vic Mansoret a homegrown?
I think he was. I think he had the Obed tag, right? Because he wasn't from Seattle. I feel like they like got him, imported him, and then he was a homegrown or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'm wrong.
What does his injury record look like?
I'm sure he blew out both of his hamstrings, but have you seen a soccer player who hasn't had a hamstring injury? I'm just gonna guess. I've literally haven't seen it. But like I think that's like the thing.
Who would win a fist fishy? Ryan, since he also had a guy that got in a fight and that player that got called up to USMNT. What player is that?
I don't know.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
I don't know what
not
any of that
exactly what it
means. But I do like your profile picture. Is that a salmon in there?
Better than
Sammy Ochoa?
Better than Gio Reyna. Definitely plays more soccer than Gio Reyna.
People got mad at me for my USMNT.
Oh, here we
takes
go.
on the
Someone
last
who's
pod.
followed him. It's weird. As a lead supporter, Ryan Kent was the never-ending transfer every window for the last 5 years. And now he's here. Weird, but he may be the grizzled bastard we need. That's good. That's good intel. Like that's sort of what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Is the vibe I get is that
He has pedigree, man.
he has like more pedigree than I thought when I first learned about it. And I think, I kind of picked up on that right away when I was looking him up on YouTube, and there was videos all over the place, not just of the punch, but like of his highlights. And I was like, okay,
Yeah, he had a Wikipedia page with like sections, like he wasn't just
yeah,
like no photo, whatever. He had like history, controversies. He had all
that's
that.
a
It's a good sign.
that's a good gauge for it.
Mm-hmm.
Max is still coming at us with some good attitude name drops. Sammy Ochoa, is that? Ooh,
Those are like deep cuts, man.
that is Vic Mansoray might be the deepest cut that we've had on Lobbing Scorchers yet.
Vic, come on the pod.
All right. I think that's about
Ryan
good for
Kent.
the Ryan Kent section.
Yeah.
We should be hearing about this imminently in the next few days. He is in Seattle.
Yeah,
was at
he's
the facility.
literally here.
Per Brian Schmetzer. He's literally here. So I would be pretty surprised if he was here and then
He's probably doing a physical.
I'm not gonna sign, So
It's not unheard of, but I would trust Nico if it's basically done, unless something catastrophic happens.
I actually made it through this entire segment without a Ted Lasso reference, but those are
well,
gonna
you
be-
better end it off with one.
That's going to be a thing. Unfortunately, when your name is Ryan Kent and there was a character in Ted Lasso named Roy Kent, for the rest, that's going to follow you for the rest of your career.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he's like got angry. He's like sick of hearing that. Like every time I bring him up, people will start doing the he's here, he's there.
Yeah. On the topic of signings before we move on, it is fun to get a random out of nowhere signing of a guy who's like actually pretty quality, and then
it's sort of what people have been asking for. Is
Yeah.
it not?
yeah, no, it's exactly what people have been asking
This
for.
is kind of
They wanted a European.
yeah.
They wanted a guy who wasn't from MLS, some sort of pedigree, and like some sort of like intrigue. They like this is the classic like Instagram aggregator account like bait. Like it's honestly genius because they can't say anything bad about him. It's a Moneyball move, so it's good for the Sounders, but
They
also
can,
like
I mean, they can say that it's money balling, but
they're like, oh, it's good moneyballing because he's not.
you
he's
can
not
also
in
you can also
MLS.
only pick from who's available, right? Like
Yeah.
he happened to be available, but Seattle stepped up and became the club that really made the play for him, and looks like they're going to get him. So
Yeah.
no,
Oh,
yeah, I mean, I think it's a good point. It is kind of like the exact type of signing that people have been asking for. So let's hope it works out. Bad sequels,
dude,
thank you so much for the $5 super chat.
drop the link. Bad sequels.
Did you see MLS release best 11 so far? Rusnak made the list. Watch out, Brigade. They definitely did that for our discourse.
They
Put one
did,
there.
yeah.
But like he
Is
actually,
there a link for it?
I haven't seen like the best 11
Oh,
to date so far.
Bad sequels. Link it.
Yeah, link it. We want to see that. I want to see who else made it. But,
Yeah.
that should whoever made that, whoever put that together clearly knows balls. Knows balls.
Clearly, they know balls, man.
Knows ball.
Rusanax, he's got 2 of them, 3 of them sometimes even.
Leo Chu was my favorite crash out.
MLS listens to the podcast, guys. Literally, this is MLS right here. Okay.
Disc golfer, welcome in. Thanks for tuning in as always, man. So stoked about Ryan Kent. Like just seeing the club make a move here and try to get something down already feels better than last year. Yeah, I think that's kind of what we were just talking about. Like it's nice that I think it's good that the Ariola thing happened and they weren't just like, oh, we'll let it rip.
Yeah.
We're actually gonna like be proactive.
We're gonna be ambitious.
We're gonna be ambitious, and we're going to sign this guy from the Scottish Premiership.
We're gonna be ambitious, folks. You gotta. Are you? Well, I guess you gotta change the ambition ratings now, Ari.
I do. I should probably go back.
Probably
no, that's a good point. This is like a big ups their
It's
score
a
by
big
a
boost.
lot.
Yeah.
For their not ambitious crowd. Like this is gonna skyrocket it because, like you said, he's English, 28.
Yep.
Just the ambition's like kind of through the roof, low key.
Yeah, and do you think they're done? I feel like they're not done. I feel like they could add another
Well,
player.
this is not even to speak of the U22 spot.
That's what I'm
open.
saying.
And
Someone asked earlier if we thought that Obed would just take that and we try and keep him.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
You know,
I don't think so. I don't think so because I mean, isn't it pretty clear that Obed, his ambition is it's not to like be a MLS U22.
Got to do right by the player for sure.
Yeah, like he wants to test himself.
Yeah, you got to
in a
hit this
different
one.
league,
I need
so-
to address this one.
Which one?
The Jake one. Jake.
This one?
Yeah. Jake.
Adrian got promised 9.5 million and starts buying players. Oh,
he's a
talking
free.
about the
He's on a free.
yeah.
He's on a free. He's a free agent. He didn't even spend any money. So you're wrong. You're wrong. Yes, he's broke. Yes, Adrian is broke. But also, Adrian, buy the podcast. Anyway,
Yeah, exactly.
we'll talk nice about you.
If they win a match in the Club World Cup, they will come home with 2 years worth of MLS salary cap. That is how minuscule the cap is. That is an interesting way to think about it.
Dude, they get $1 million per tie. You get two. Did you see that article?
I didn't like
Do you want to pontificate?
dive into it.
I know you have a whole list of things, so
No,
I
no,
won't
I-
jump on you, but
no,
like it's on Sounder at Heart right now. They broke down what
All right, let's take a look at
the-
this.
the cap is about. It's there on the left.
Oh, I see it. All right, we're gonna pull this up right now. Sounder at Heart, great website. You should all subscribe to it.
Sounderatheart.com/ls. You can scroll down to subscribe and support. Get 1 month free. Now, let me tell you folks something, okay? You have a limit now. 45 articles, and then you have to pay. Okay, listen, 45 free articles a month is a great deal, but you can get 1 month completely free by going to sounderatheart.com/ls. Scroll down to subscribe and support, and then you literally got unlimited. So, boom, done.
all
And
right.
access to the Discord.
Good shilling right there. That was good. Let's take a look at this, but real quick. First, we got a $6.66 super chat from Juan
Peso
Vargas.
Pluma.
Thank you, Juan. Appreciate you. My favorite Sounders pod. Keep up the great work, guys.
We love you,
Thanks,
Juan.
man.
Thank
Juan.
you, bro. We're ready for the LAFC derby. We're ready. I hope that one day we can go down for an LAFC derby because we have a lot of LAFC fans. Am I invited to the cookout? Because like I want to come to the Asada, man.
I think
I want to come to the Asada.
I think we have good rapport with the LAFC contingent. I gotta move.
Oh, there you go. You're good. You're good. We'll just
All
bring
right.
it in here.
All right. FIFA finally announces Club World Cup prize pool. So, what was have you done the deep dive on this, Noah? Did you have any?
I just read the
initial
article.
takeaways. All right.
I mean, I just think it was very up in the air, and it seems like nobody knew until literally like right now.
Let's look at this. Sounders receive 9.5 million guaranteed.
That's a lot of money.
That's some coin.
That's a
guys.
lot of money.
That Champions League win was hot. That's basically like an extra 10 million from that Champions League win.
Yeah.
Just for like just out of nowhere.
Just
kind of.
just for showing up.
$1 million per group stage tie.
So if they can get one tie, that's 1 milli, bro.
So that would bring it up to
milli.
10.5.
Yeah.
So if they just tie one game,
Yeah.
2 million per group stage win. So basically if they win any game in the group stage, it's got way bigger implications than just like the novelty of them beating one of these teams. They're getting a lot of coin for winning any of these games.
Okay, new movement says something here. The prize money distributed effectively confirms that Big Euro teams will
Yes.
play. But I don't agree. I don't agree, man. 100 milli is a drop in the bucket. Like these teams don't give a shit. Okay, they don't care about Club World Cup.
See
They don't care. They don't care. They want to win Champions League. They want to win. They want to win like their
the year the
things.
Sounders were in it, Real Madrid was like not emptying the tank, but they had their dudes out there. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it'll be like their strongest of strongest lineups, but
100
they're
mil is
gonna-
like half a season for them.
they're gonna be playing their guys. Like I don't see any scenario where Seattle goes into these games and it's like some scrub lineup of their academy kids and backups. Like
Yeah.
they might be rotated to an extent, but like all these clubs rotated are still going to be insane, first of all. And second of all, like I think they intentionally make the prize money pretty high and pretty lucrative for that exact reason. So like,
Sure.
so clubs are incentivized to actually showcase their best players. So like,
Well, I hope not. I hope they're like, this is poverty wages. Last year, UCL winner got 25 mil. Okay. Well, Champions League's poverty, Colt, apparently.
Let's see. The rest of this is there's still stuff that I
Yeah, sorry, I totally cut you off.
13.125 million for making the quarterfinals.
Dude, if they can advance somehow out of this group, 7.5 million. They get a straight Pedro de la Vega buy off with that.
Ooh. 21 million for making the semifinals, 30 million for making the finals, 40 million for winning the final. So basically what I'm seeing here is that they just got to win the Club World Cup.
Yeah,
And then
that's easy.
Then the team's going to be set for absolute years.
Dude, we're going to get the sickest stadium at Long Acres if they win Club World Cup.
Total prize pool has been set at $1 billion with different amounts guaranteed to clubs based on which federation they're from. The Sounders, as one of 5 participants from CONCACAF, guaranteed 9.5 just for playing in the group stage. Honestly, that's sick right there. That is assuming that these funds are allocated wisely. This could actually be like could meaningfully help the team get better. That is enough money where it could meaningfully help the team get better, assuming that you actually use it well, which is never a guarantee.
Yeah, and Brian talked about how he wants his players to get some of that money too.
Just go straight to the guys.
Just go straight to the guys, which, like, yeah, why not? They earned it. We basically have the same roster now as we had when they won Champions League, so might as well give them some more money.
I'm cool with that, as long as I feel like they got to use some of it, most of it on the roster. That's what I would selfishly hope. I don't even think it's selfishly though. I think it's just like that's part of the reason that you you want to win these tournaments, for the bragging rights and for the trophy case. But this is stuff that benefits you for
Adrian
Hauer as well.
Adrian Hanauer is going to use it as stock buyback, so he can buy out Macklemore and who's the other celebrity owners? Russ. Yeah, he's going to buy out Russ and Sierra.
I think Russ is still an owner, isn't he?
Yeah, apparently. I don't know.
It's kind of weird. I remember it was so hype when he joined.
Yeah,
and then hasn't been as hyped the last few years.
Russ, come on the pod, bro. What are you doing? We know you're a huge Sounders fan.
He did used to tweet about it. Remember that?
He did. He was locked in when he was here. I wonder if he just forgot. Like, how funny would it be to just, he makes so much fucking money. It's just like, oh yeah, sorry, forgot about my like $10 million investment. My bad, bro. My bad, bro.
I'm pretty sure
they're gonna use this to buy the Seahawks. They're gonna use the prize money to buy the Seahawks.
Here's Max's idea for how to use the money. 4.5 to the players, 4.5 to the roster, 550K to Sounder at Heart's photographer.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's a fair
allocation.
Can we get a cut?
I was gonna say if we could get like just a little cut of the 550, then I'll be all for that allocation.
Well, the players don't need 4.5. They only need 4. Like they're already on a high salary. We'll take the 5. Yeah. Okay. The Lobbing Scorchers mansion will be an actual mansion.
I gotta say, like, just looking at that for the first time, there's a this tournament matters in that sense.
Yeah,
like performing well and getting good results benefits you financially greatly, which I knew, but that kind of just spells it out.
Yeah, but we didn't know it was going to be that much. $1 billion is a lot of money. All right, I was trying to cope. Okay, guys, it is a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, and I think whoever said it in chat is right that I don't know. I'll be interested to see like what type of lineups like PSG and Atletico put out there, but my expectation would be that they're gonna put out some good lineups.
Yeah. I think this is interesting to talk about too, because did you see Leon is no longer in the Club World Cup? They were kicked out because.
Oh, did that actually happen?
Yeah, so it was official. They're still figuring out who's going to replace them, but it might potentially be.
Get another MLS.
That was like it was potentially going to be the I can't remember. Just look it up. There's someone wrote about it, I'm sure.
Chat, what would be the funniest MLS club to replace?
Yeah, I think they literally were talking about like the Philly Union because they're really high on the rankings. Oh yeah, Aluense was the one that might possibly replace them. And then I don't know. It would be funny, dude. Like
They got to throw like
the Galaxy playing in it right now would be really funny.
that. Yeah.
Like just because
I'm thinking like more random. Like what about
Sporting
Sporting KC?
KC.
Put in like one of the worst.
Well, someone was
MLSs.
there's this whole bit going on like MLS social spaces that they're going to give it to the Revs. Like I don't really know where it started, so if anyone could fill me in with that bit, but I'm actually very much pro that. Like I would like to see.
That's
the New
what I'm
England
saying.
Revolution.
Like a novelty team just for the content.
Yeah, it should go to Club America though. If we're being real here.
Well, shouldn't it be like based on something? Like I don't like Seattle. The reason they got in was for Champions League. Inter Miami, they got in Mickey Mouse, but
That's
it was,
big. Theirs doesn't count.
It was ostensibly because
They
won
got
the-
hosting.
the Shield. So like you have to, even if it's like a bogus reason, you have to come up with a reason. That's what they did.
They
with-
could go with like Cup,
yeah,
like
any cup, or
like MLS Cup.
the Revs. The Revs never won one of those.
No, I know, but I'm saying like then you put the Galaxy in there.
Oh,
I think
yeah, exactly.
I think they do. Who won Champions League last year?
CCC.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't remember.
Maybe that was Leon. That was I think who they kicked out. Whatever. I don't remember. Based on second place, it's for LAFC. But you didn't win. Like it's not. Why would it be LAFC? They didn't win anything last year. They literally lost to the Sounders. Oh, are you talking about Shield race? Oh, they're thinking like second in the Shield race.
Second in the Shield race.
I think they should give it to Liga MX's team.
it's probably gonna. It might. I think it might be LAFC. Like this is sounding like it's lining up for it to be LAFC.
Crew would be the funniest. I just want the Crew to be snubbed again because remember they had that whole 6-month whining fit that they're like, I can't believe you would pick Inter Miami to be in there because they thought they were gonna win. They were gonna win Cup and then they bombed out and then they got really quiet, bro. No, Leon beat.
It was a
LAFC,
lot
yeah.
there. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of the crew fans were unhappy with a lot last year. They got poisoned in Champions League, and then there was that whole situation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I feel like what's gonna happen because I think Aluense is actually a good shout for it. Just for fun, it's just like a random ass team that has like no chance.
I'll tell you what, with that much coin on the line, I'm gonna be, I think, more locked in on these games than I would have been previously. I don't, if anything, I would say I feel worse about Seattle's prospects because, again, with that much money on the line, I think these teams are going to be deploying pretty strong lineups. But
Who's gonna pocket? It's fine.
yeah, exactly.
Dude. We're
exactly.
good. We're good.
On the flip side of that, I think I'm more curious to watch them play one of those teams at stronger, like with a stronger lineup than I would if it was like their backups and academy kids and then they played well. Everyone would be like, it doesn't count because
Yeah, I agree.
it was their backups and their academy kids. So now with the lineups that I feel like are for sure going to be out there, if Seattle does play well, it's going to count. It's going to count.
They will count.
It's all going to count. Like I don't want to hear that it doesn't count. If,
Albert, that's what I've been saying. If Albert
there's gonna
Rusnak
be
scoring against PSG would feed me forever because I'm just responding with you to that clip.
there's
like
going to
every
be
time.
some reason that it doesn't count if they play well or get a result, but it makes that talking point harder to.
I think they should give the winner of the Open Cup the spot.
Yeah,
Why not?
hell yeah.
That would be LAFC.
Oh, that's probably what they're going to end up.
That's
doing.
probably would be really funny. It would be funny if they did Galaxy though, because this version of the Galaxy trying to play in Club World Cup would be hilarious for all involved, and they would get bailed out for all their financial
Here's what
problems
it is.
too.
Here's what it is. Off season for PSG and Atletico, so any result doesn't count. Damn it!
That's true.
Damn it!
That's true.
But the money will be real. Think
That's
about
true.
that.
Well, but it's okay because Atletico is going to sell their best player to LAFC here soon.
Yeah,
And that's going to be
forgot about
good.
that.
That's going to be good for the Sounders. Okay. Yeah. Put Des Moines Menace in
I
there.
think. Okay, this is my official prediction. They're going to find some way to give it to LAFC.
Probably. Well, I don't know. I think they're okay. Let's take. Should we do like a bet on it? Like someone has to like shotgun a White Claw if either of us gets it right or something like that.
Sure.
Okay, I will buy a Danny Musovski jersey and wear it on camera if and shotgun a White Claw if they give it to LAFC.
I mean, I can rock with that.
Yeah, and then who would be your? I guess I have to pick one.
I predicted LAFC.
Yeah, but so I was taking that, so I guess I have to predict one. I don't know, man. Like
It's tough.
I just can you pull up the CONCACAF rankings?
Sure.
Yeah, because I know they have like CONCACAF club rankings. Yeah, because I mean this is a little bit of a cheater mentality. It's the club one on the left there. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna
Yeah,
share
do it.
this.
Oh, it's totally gonna be LAFC. God damn it. It's totally gonna be LAFC. Look at this. Look at this. Number two. Or number 3. Because Cruz Azul and Club America. Is Club America in it? If
I don't think Club
okay, if
America.
Club America's it's gonna be Club America. That's my take. Club America.
Club America's not in it. Cruz Azul and then LAFC.
Yeah.
Interesting. This is like their entire, like every club is in here.
Yeah, that's all of them.
What is the formula?
Vibes.
Vibes. They're just
Look,
going
the
off.
fucking Caps are up there.
The Caps are
Orlando
ranked higher
City,
in-
bro.
Where's
What?
Seattle, man? 17.
We dropped one.
God damn.
We dropped one. But we're tied with the Red Bulls. So
That is
what's the
harsh.
tiebreaker?
Wow, this is tough to see.
Well, we did lose to
Below the New York Red Bulls, below Orlando.
we're below the
City,
Galaxy, which is
below
awesome.
the Whitecaps. Man, CONCACAF does not like the Seattle
No, they
Sounders. Wow. Tough rankings. I was going to talk about the power rankings, which were
Mhm.
equally unkind to the Seattle Sounders this week.
That's a good
And-
transition, Ari.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wasn't going to say much other about the power rankings other than that. Like what Seattle is tumbling by the week. But yeah,
Can you blame them?
that is a good segue for like I'm not disputing it really with how things are going right now, but I think that is a good segue into talking about this upcoming game for the Seattle Sounders. The league season is still going at the moment,
Unfortunately.
and they have to go to San Jose and play this Earthquakes team where I would say the vibes are at a not good point. And I think the first thing I wanted to talk about was just I think the fan reaction from that Houston draw was like as negative
Oh,
as
yeah.
I've seen in quite some time. And it honestly, it was not limited to Brigade. It was not limited to like the normal crowd. Leon Spot goes off Matt Doyle's power rankings.
let's let Doyle pick it. That'd be
Yeah.
funny.
The negativity was not, it was widespread is what I'm saying. Like it wasn't just a vocal minority who
Yeah.
were, and I think it was, I think the reasoning for that was kind of like PTSD, man. I think that's sort of what we've been talking about all week is that kind of air of PTSD, but like the negativity of the vibes right now after that draw against Houston puts more pressure, I would say, on this San Jose game than there otherwise would be for a game against the Quakes in March. You know? Like they can't get shut out in this game. That's my number one. Just please score one goal.
Yep.
1 goal and maybe 2 goals. That's
Maybe 3.
That's maybe even 3 if you're feeling.
If you want to have fun, score
And
3.
the thing is, like obviously the injuries are bad and it's going to make scoring goals harder. That is just a fact of life. However, everyone who is saying that that wasn't an excuse to get shut out by the Houston Dynamo at home, I would say that is correct, and it doesn't justify getting shut out by the San Jose Earthquakes in this game. I really like. To me, it's almost more important.
There we go.
Than the result that they bang in a couple goals in this game. If they 1-0 this, but it looks the exact same, I'll be happy about that. Don't get me wrong. Like I'll be able to cope and say, all right, like injury situation is tough right now. You're at a grinded out part of the season. Good on you for getting the 3 points and scoring a goal. But it just feels like if they get shut out in this game, we're teetering on at least discourse wise, it going off the rails. I don't think you can ever have the season go off the rails this early in the season.
It's
this
not
team
a good
is
start though.
It's just it would be officially like this game is the crossroads of if they can change the narrative from this being a bad start to the season into salvaging like the start of the season a little bit. If they go out there and say they pull a 2-0 or a 3-1 or something like that, I think it would do I think it would go a long way.
I'm happy with a draw,
in
man.
helping the vibes.
A scoring draw.
Talk about that.
Scoring draw would be great. Give me a Jesus Ferreira goal. Give me a Jesus Ferreira assist. Give me something. You know what I mean? Get a Paul Rothrock banger in there. Give me something to believe in again with this attack. I think that's really all I'm looking for. Like, it's an away game. It's always an away game. But I would love to beat the San Jose Earthquakes, man, especially after the last season. They got the best of us in the most annoying ass way possible.
And they had one of the worst seasons in MLS history.
We literally gave them half of their points total.
They had one of the worst seasons in MLS history, and Seattle didn't beat them in either game.
No, they literally
lost the first one and tied the second.
They gave them half of their points total. Like that's like totally a legit fact.
Turned out to be, I consider it a bit, because they ended up winning 16 games and going to the West Final. So I was not as tilted about the whole Quakes thing as I otherwise would have been, because I thought the season ended all right.
Yeah.
But like, that was tilting to say the least. That was the first Quakes game was the game where Moose scored, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And it was 2. That ended 3-2. They tied it. They tied
That's
that
right.
2-2 and almost had the draw, and then Jabo Abobasi got the game winner.
We don't have to worry about him anymore.
That was one of the most tilting games of the entire season.
That was at Lumen, right?
No, that was the one in San Jose. And then
did we draw the one at Lumen?
And then they drew the one.
That's right. And that was the one that felt like a loss because we just like gave up that game.
Yes.
Yeah, I do remember both of those.
And the San Jose Earthquakes, realistically, have been like there was a time where I would consider them like a legitimate bogey team.
Yeah.
Like Seattle, remember those years? Kind of more in the
dude.
Ziggy years where they just like couldn't beat the San Jose Earthquakes no matter how bad the San Jose Earthquakes were.
Yeah.
But last year it kind of felt like there was a long time where that really wasn't the case anymore. They got a couple dubs at PayPal Park, and they had during the COVID year, remember they hung 7 on them.
That was a crazy game. Dude.
And honestly, really the bogey team years were predominantly Wando fueled. They could just never stop that guy from bamming on them.
Greatest MLS player of all time.
But the San Jose Earthquakes this year, I was just looking at their results so far this season before we went live, and they had a really good first game of the year. They dropped 4 goals on Real Salt Lake. And then since then, I would describe it as like erratic. First year under Bruce Arena, I think they look improved. They made a lot of people
uncanceled Bruce Arena.
Bruce is back. A lot of people thought that the San Jose Earthquakes might be like the type like bad again, give up 80 goals type team again. But they got actually a lot of praise for their offseason as well. I thought it was excessive praise. I felt like it was the type of thing where when a really bad team has to like turn over their whole roster, a lot of pundits are like, oh, they're going to be so much better because look, they made this move and this move and this move. And this year it was like they got Chicho Arango and Joseph Martinez. Like, ooh, that's like, look at that striker duo.
Let's pretend that they didn't just score a total of 25 points the entire season.
Well, and also like
in any league in the world, you're not only getting relegated, you're getting your program is shut. They're selling the club.
Well, and my thing was also like, okay, you signed a couple of pretty good strikers. I like Joseph. I don't even know if he's fine, I guess, but like he's not. It's not like they're signing Atlanta United Joseph. And Chicho was outright bad for the second half of last year. But okay,
he was like legitimately gone.
Yeah, but so you signed a couple of MLS proven strikers. But my thing is like you gave up 80 goals.
Yeah.
80. Which
That's
every
like,
time I think
incredible.
it might have actually been 78.
You might actually be able to just round it up to 100.
If
you're that close.
It's too many goals is what it is. You can't. I mean, if it, like just for reference, Seattle gave up the fewest goals in the league last year at 35. I think like a normal MLS defense, you give up like what 40 to 50.
Yeah, probably.
Like 80.
Yeah, unless you're Inter Miami, then you give up 80 as well, but you also
score
200.
150.
Yeah.
But it seems like my take on the Quakes so far is that they are better defensively, but this is a team that you should be able to score on, even with the injury situation. Like, I guess that's sort of I when I'm going into a game, I try to assess my expectations based on the context. You know, like this last Houston game, my expectation was for them to play a lot better in attack and get the win. The game before that, the St. Louis game, my expectations were pretty low. I'm not going to lie, with the injury situation and the squad rotation and the fixture congestion and all that. But for this game, I'm expecting 1 goal and maybe even 2 goals. This is not a very good defensive team. Like, even with the injury situation that you have right now, you should be able to score a goal or 2 against the Quakes. And if you can't clear that bar, then the discourse is going to be hot and it's going to be merited, because like if they get shut out in this game, that'll be 3 games in a row with no goals. That's not good. So they got to get one, man.
I think this is a must-win match, or at least a must-perform match, right? Like,
I'd say must perform. Yeah. There's no such thing as must win at this point in the season,
right? There is for the.
I like the term
vibes.
must perform.
Must perform, yeah. This is a must-perform match, and
the vibes are teetering.
Yeah, and it seems like both Jordan and Pedro's injuries are a little bit worse than initially let on. Shocker, Ari. Would you believe that?
Whoa.
Or I guess Jordan's is at least. Pedro's he's at least working back in, but like
Schmetz said, like, I think he said 2 to 3 weeks for De La Vega, more like 4.
For like a month for De La
Jordan.
Vega, and then like 4 months for Jordan. If you do Brian
if
Schmetzer
you do
time.
that. Okay, I was like, what? Yeah, no.
Like, I mean, not to get on an injury tangent, but it's like, it is very frustrating that they let Jordan get hurt like that because they played him 500 minutes in a row, but whatever. I'll leave that to another time. But back to the must perform match. Like, as long as it's entertaining, I don't even need it to be entertaining. Grind it out. Perform.
Grinding it out is fine, but you got to score.
Yeah.
If you grind out a scoreless draw, I'm not going to be.
No, that's not.
I'm not going to give them all that much credit for that.
I need someone to step up and attack. I wrote this when I keep referencing this, like I wrote some masterful piece of art, but I wrote the gamer for Sounder at Heart last week.
You're a writer now.
I'm officially a writer now. And I literally said, the question remains, who is going to be that guy for the Sounders attack? Who's going to be that guy while Jordan and Pedro are out? Who's it going to be? Someone needs to step up. Someone needs to do it. Is it going to be Albert? Is it going to be Rothrock? Is it going to be Georgie? Is it going to be... Oh, you know what? I think we should deploy right wing Obed Vargas.
Ooh.
Bring it back.
I hadn't thought about that.
We haven't played that in a while, but
there seems to be like differing recollections of how that went. I read a national pundit, I can't remember who was like, things got to a point last year where they had to deploy Obed Vargas on the right mid, and it didn't really work. And I'm like, I remember that cooking. I thought that was sick.
It did work though. It did work, and
we were talking about like, man, maybe that's where you should.
Like
maybe we were bugging, but I don't think so.
No, I mean, I think, listen, especially if you, dude, okay, here's what I like: Christian next to Danny Leyva.
Alejandro, he was joking about.
I'm joking. It was not 4 months. It's probably a month.
It's like a month.
Whatever. I'm not a doctor. Please don't take my medical advice. Except I do all horse medicine. Just kidding. We're gonna get banned off YouTube. That joke's not gonna land. What was I saying?
Obed at right mid.
Yeah, Obed at right mid. Play Danny Leyva with Christian in that central role. Danny Leva's really good.
I think he's earning minutes right now.
He likes to be tight in tight spaces, and I think him and Christian could work really well off of each other if you're looking for that more like attacking minded game. And then you have Obed, who's already going to come back and defend anyway as a winger. I don't know. I like it. And then when Obed gets tired, you swap out for Georgie and get that last minute push.
It was working. I'd be interested to like go back and watch some of those games, but because I can't remember like specifically what games they were, but I remember it actually working pretty well.
Yeah, he had the goal against Philly, correct.
But was he playing in the double pivot that game?
I don't remember.
I can't remember. I'm pretty sure he was playing in the double pivot that game, but there was a set of games where he was playing at right mid, and that was during the point of the season where the offense was not producing at all.
Yeah.
And they did that, and it was like, oh, okay.
Sometimes
This
you
is
just need a new
actually-
wrinkle, man.
Yeah, exactly. Like throw a curveball. That was a classic Schmetz curveball that actually kind of worked. Paul Rothrock being the all-time like barometer of that, like the curveball that hit. But the Obed at right, I totally forgot about that. That's
I
a
just
good
think it gives.
well, but then as someone in chat pointed out, like Danny Leyva, like I think Danny Leyva's looked good enough to be playing.
I think so. I think he's the type of player that wants to try things, and I think you need that right now when you have a player like when you're just kind of anemic at the 9 right now. Like you don't really have someone. Danny Leyva wants to take a shot outside of the box, and I'm gonna be honest with you, he's a player who I'm actually cool doing that. Like he finds balls and takes his chances and shoots the ball and makes his own luck, and I like that. And if you're looking at an anemic offense like what you're seeing right now, while Jesus is getting integrated at the 9, I like a player who can play in a tight space, like Danny Leyva, especially with a player like Jesus Ferreira who likes to drop back and get farther back. Rusnak, I'm sorry, he doesn't play well off of that. But Danny Leyva is a player that plays really well off that. I'm not saying play Danny Leyva at the 10, but I'm just saying if there's a way to kind of like get him integrated in that attack, they could be close to each other, and Danny Leyva's fine being like right next to you. Like if you watch his game, he's like, I will stand right here and I will take a pass from you from right here. Like I love his game, and I really do. That's you know what, Brian,
we know you're watching.
We know you're watching, Schmetz. Deploy it. I'm telling you. This one's free. The next one you got to pay for.
That was that your second good take of the night?
I've been on a roll.
Yeah, wow. What is going
Been
on?
on a roll.
I'm kind of confused by that.
It's the live stream, man. I don't have to play a character.
Yeah, like I like that idea, and really, ultimately, I think, hopefully, I imagine Ferreira is going to be playing the 9 in this game, and I just want to see that. Well, I just want to see progress with that. I'm at the point with that where the hopes and dreams of it just hitting at full capacity right away. I'm kind of past that. I don't really think that is. There's clearly a lot more reps that everyone needs together to get it fully effective. But if we see like good, meaningful progress with that in this game, which would ideally include him getting on the stat sheet in some capacity, but I'm really looking at more eye test with that, how he and Rusnak are playing off each other. If they can just figure out how to get more out of his skill set than they have been in this first couple games at the 9. I think you're right that it did look better in the last game, but I don't think anyone would say it's particularly close to where it needs to be. And really there's a lot riding on that right now. You know, we've been going to bat for Rusnak for years. He had, contrary to popular narratives, he has stepped up in situations that are maybe not like for this, but similar to this over the years.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a situation where, like he's got to step up. Ferreira has got to step up to whatever extent is possible with where his integration is at right now. And they need to score 1, ideally 2, and maybe even 3 goals.
Mm-hmm. I think an interesting wrinkle too that I would be interested to see deployed is playing 2 9s in this next match.
Moose and Ferreira?
Yeah, because if you watched the last match, Ferreira looked like a different player when he had another 9 to play off of. He looked comfortable. He looked like he could get out wide and take the space that he wanted. He wasn't getting in the way of Albert. Albert was able to distribute a little bit better. I don't know, like if you're really set on starting Albert and you're really set on starting Jesus, I think it might pay you a little bit of a dividend to start a player, like Moose up top with him. Just, it's not even because I think Moose is going to score or be super effective. It's just that it's that little mental thing for him. And also if Moose does score, that's great for your backup striker. to like have that mentality.
He
that-
got the one in Mexico, which hopefully was a nice
Yeah.
little confidence
yeah.
boost. But yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I guess
I'm
wouldn't.
not saying do that the full game. I'm just saying like it was nice to see that at the end of the match where he was able to settle.
It
in.
does seem like Ferreira as a pure 9. That's just it's not really his. It's not really his game.
He's like a false
I know
9.
I know he did it at FC Dallas, but like I've been saying the whole time, one of the reasons that I liked the trade was because of his all-around game, like how he sets other guys up, how unselfish he is. I think we saw genuinely good, encouraging glimpses of that aspect of his game in the Antigua series, and the KKR goal against LAFC was created by a Ferreira dime. So I think there has some people have been talking about the Jesus Ferreira experience like it's been like a total like joke or like a bust. I think the last 2 games have been rough. It's his first 2 times playing at the 9 with this team.
Yeah.
So that is definitely undeniable. Like that hasn't gone well yet. But like there have been good moments where he's played well as a facilitator and combining with other players. But that's not really.
But you see what he can do when he's like feels comfortable with a player. His combination with Paul Arriola was beauty. It was beauty, but he knows he's played with Paul Arriola for a long time. He knows where he's going to be. He could anticipate. Yeah. He could make those passes. Go back and watch those games where they played together. It was like, we literally had a whole section. We titled a whole podcast, Thank You FC Dallas. Because they were like demigods on the soccer pitch. And I think that's why I won't count Jesus Ferreira out. That's whatever. But I think you're right. Like they need to do something to make him comfortable. They need to put him in a position to play well. And I want to pose this question to you.
Okay.
Would you rather have Albert Rusnak at the 10 or Jesus Ferreira at the 10?
Rusnak, because I think Ferreira's skill set might not be a pure 9, but it has more 9 elements to where like Rusnak, that like he's not nearly as effective out wide. He's been extremely effective for long periods, long sample sizes as like a pure 10. And I think that is your best chance, is getting them on the same page, those 2 specifically. And that just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
But I think the best chance you have at that is with Rusnak playing his preferred position as like a pure 10. And then, I mean, you don't need Ferreira to be like Benteke, like you can.
Well, he's not Benteke, and
that's what I'm saying.
Like
he's not that type of striker.
But
Jordan is more that type.
That's
of
what I'm
striker.
saying. That's part of the problem. Is he's not anything the Sounders have ever had in the last like 5 years.
He's very unique player.
He is a technically gifted player who likes space, but he doesn't like space in the same way that Jordan likes space. Jordan wants to run onto the space. Jesus wants to like peel defenders and make a pass and like, or just like, take a touch, do you, and then shoot, or like whatever. Like he's confident in his space. I don't know. It's just, like they're completely opposite players. Jesus needs more space to operate. Jordan needs more space to run onto the ball. Do you know what I mean? But it's like 2 opposite ways of facilitating and like game planning, and I just don't think they've done well to play like that.
Schmetz did quite comedically reveal that he was on a minutes limit
after saying that he wasn't.
But didn't he play 90?
He did. He's off of it
and
now.
Schmetz also said like
he said he was
off of it. Yeah, that was so funny.
Yeah, because
I mean, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but hadn't Nico been like, is he on a minutes limit? Like, what's going on? Why is he only playing 60? And Schmetz was like, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
We just wanted to add some more.
And then unprompted, he was like, well, he's been on a minute.
That's what I'm saying, dude. He's such a fucking troll, man. Brian, you're a troll.
But
dude.
that felt like an unintentional troll. Like he was genuinely
he knows what he's doing. He knows.
I feel like, yeah, you could be right.
I think he knows.
In that situation, I don't know.
That's the way he deals with the media. It's awesome.
It was classic Schmetz.
I like it because it's funny. Like to have your coach be like, Yeah, no, I have no clue who this player is. He's literally in the training facility behind you. You probably just had like a hour-long meeting with him. You're like, I've literally never met a guy named Ryan in my life.
And then the next day you're on KJR talking about how he's in the building.
Not even the next day, later that night.
And then the next day you're like, yeah, he's in the facility. We can't announce it.
No, he's like, there might be a guy named Ryan in the facility who might be here. Like, what, bro? You're so funny, dude. I love you, Brian.
I know the vibes are down right now, understandably, after that last game, but the Ryan Kent stuff has given me a little bit of, okay, all right. Like, I'm excited for the Ryan Kent era. If for no other reason than that it's like, you know, interesting little curveball or wrinkle. And like when you get a new player in season like this, there's always the allure of like, oh, maybe this guy can give us a boost, or like
maybe he'll get
add something new that hasn't been here yet. So I definitely I'm trying not to have my expectations be that he's the savior type agenda, but I'm intrigued, Noah. I'm very intrigued, and not just by what we see on the YouTube highlights, but what he can bring to the locker room and just the personality of the team. I think there's some potential for some good stuff there.
I feel like this is just like the city of Seattle. When this roster is done, it's going to be a thing of beauty. When this city is done, when that light rail is done, it's going to be a thing of beauty, Ari. Because like, think about this. Think about this roster fully healthy. That's a thing of beauty. That's a thing of beauty.
What if De La Vega, Jordan were healthy at the same time, and Ryan Kent was healthy?
Ryan Kent is cooking.
What if they have all those guys next year?
And they sign a U22.
And Paul Arriola is back.
Yep.
And then they sign the U22.
And Jesus Ferrer is gone in your situation.
And then we're gonna get very excited for that. And then 3 games into the season, everyone's going to blow their hamstring, and we're going to be back to rotating everyone. But you know, like, you have the hopes and dreams until then.
Yeah, it's okay because Kalani Kosarienzi scores 20 goals that season, and it's totally fine.
Yeah.
Shout out KKR.
Hunch Punch says Jordan has one tool in the tool belt: speed. He's better served when getting over the top passes, but can do a knock onto himself if needed. Makes him an ideal. Oh, so this is Jordan's a better winger, not a nine.
Wrong.
Noah and I we've sparred over that over the year. Like I was on the page for a long time, as recently as the beginning of last season, that I didn't like Jordan as the 9. Really, like I was the one arguing that they should just keep spamming Raul because that was the best chance that they had, and Jordan has attributes that have been effective on the wing in his career.
Jordan Morris is a Major League Soccer striker. I know that people don't like to hear it. He is
I'm on that page
physical.
At this point.
He is a big physical attacker who people don't want to believe it, but he has a finisher's touch. He can finish really well, and he's pacey, but also he's a big body, bro. I'm sorry. Like, have you seen Major League Soccer defenders? Dude, have you seen Jack Stragan in person? That man is not human. That dude is a basketball player. That dude is a linebacker. Like, good luck. He's a 9. He's not a winger, man. You want a winger like Pedro de la Vega. You want a winger who you put your technical skills out there, okay, right? And then Jordan's your big body in the middle. He's your big red target.
I'm on the page that he proved himself as a 9 last year. He had 18 goals, 7 assists across all comps, and really after the famously bad first. There's actually stats on his stats. Or stats on his stats.
There's stats on his stats.
There's stats on his performance after he full-time moved to the 9, and I remember them. He put up 14 and 5 in however many games. That's what you want.
He was on track.
That's what you want from a DP striker.
Dude, he was literally on track this season before he got injured.
And
he's gonna come back. This is not some season-ending injury. He's gonna come back and he's gonna play.
Yeah. I thought that's why I think we were both kind of saying it at the time, but that's why the discourse about him being a DP was way overblown in my opinion, because he had 18 and 7 last year, 18 and 7 and 14 and 5 after becoming the 9.
He was he was higher than a lot of 9s on the Golden Boot race. Just going to say it. Also, Hunch Punch says he's better when he's not the number. That's just not true. He's better when he's not the number 1 option. What? What are you talking about? Look at what he's not the number one option right now because he's injured and looks like the team can't score. So I don't really know. Is that because
I
of
think-
De La Vega? No, it's because Jordan Morris isn't at the 9.
I think that was the narrative like earlier in his career, maybe. But like I guess like that's sort of what I think that he proved and earned status wise last year. Like the production doesn't lie. Like people can say that he misses sitters a lot and that maybe the eye test doesn't look good or like point to different times where the team has struggled with him up top or whatever. But like 14-5 after he became the 9, that like that's all that for me personally, that's all the proof I need that he can do it at a high enough level for certainly for the team to contend, which is that's what's at issue at the end of the day. Like, can they contend with him in that spot? I think they clearly can. And they've also like they've won a bunch of trophies in his career with him as maybe not the number one option, but a very prominent option, like one of the biggest options on the team. However you rate it. Like
No. You don't even have to do that. You can go back to last season. Do you remember what we looked like when he was not the number one option? Do you remember what Raul Ruidiaz looked like? Do you remember what this club looked like? It was terrible. They do not get to the Western Conference Final unless Jordan Morris is at the number 9. I don't want to hear it.
And
that is reality. That is what happened. He is the 9.
And Paul Rothrock.
Absolutely, Paul Rothrock. No Paul Rothrock erasure. But I'm saying the person putting in the goals was Jordan Morris. The person who turned that season around with Paul Rothrock was Jordan Morris. Like, it's just you're like I don't know what to tell
Joe
you
makes
there.
a good point, which is that I think perception of Jordan has been skewed in his career because he's never taken penalty kicks, which I think is actually an underrated.
It's true.
Like if he took the penalties, I guess throughout his career, but particularly last year, and he was up at like more like
because like half of Rusnak's goals were penalties.
23 to 25 goals across all comps, he would be getting talked about like god tier, but he never has taken the penalties.
Bro, we need a technical finish. Bro, have you pull up the goal against LAFC? I mean, seriously, like, what are you talking about, bro? Shut up. You
guys are triggering Noah chat.
You're so dumb.
You're
No,
triggering Noah.
no, you don't. You have wingers. That's their thing. You have Jesus Ferreira who can play off of Jordan Morris. What are you talking about? You are watching Major League Soccer. You are watching Major League Soccer. Get it through your head. This is not the Premier League. This is Major League Soccer. It's a different game, okay? I'm sorry. This is different, all right? Jordan Morris is a very good Major League Soccer player. He's a very good Major League Soccer player 9. Dude, Christian Benteke does the same exact thing and won the Golden Boot. What are you talking about? Why aren't you in the comments saying, well, actually Christian Benteke is a better winger because blah blah blah. You're just dumb. You guys, it's just stupid. You're stupid.
Woo!
MLS needs to level up maybe, but that's not what we're here for. We play in Major League Soccer. You have a player who is a Major League Soccer player. This is just stupid. Go chirp about Benteke. I hate it. I hate the Jordan Morris slander, man. It's so stupid.
It's
and again, like you always say, where you're not offering any other options. You're not offering any other options. Jordan should be the number 9 for the USMNT too. Also, that's
See, now we're cooking. Now, like
you guys triggered me. Oh my god, I was so calm today.
You're very triggered.
I was so calm today.
You're very triggered. But that's good. I like the
content.
I like the hot discourse. Ruidiaz scored 6 PKs last year. Yeah,
merchant.
He was merchanting.
That's what I'm saying. You can't call. They have to pick a different talking point because they can't say Jordan Morris, PK merchant. Dude, if
it's
Jordan
kind of sick that he's not. Well, oh, you're right, because if he did take PKs, that they would call him a merchant.
That's what I'm saying, dude. It's just so dumb, man. Like, you're stupid.
I mean, I think people are gonna sandbag his status as the 9, no matter what, which is unfortunate. But like, to me, if he's banging in goals, the team is winning and they're contending for trophies. That's what I ultimately care about. so that's, and they to be fair, like they did that last year with him as the 9. He got 19 goal contributions after he moved to the position, and they got close to making MLS Cup. They were a few minutes away. So they obviously fell short, but I think the idea that like a better 9, they would have beat the Galaxy. I don't know.
I just think if Ricky Puig goes off instead of playing through an ACL tear, you go off. You win. You win that game. Who knows what happens? Who knows what happens? That was literally a battle of one of the best offenses versus one of the best defense. That was MLS Cup. That game was literally MLS Cup. Like, I'm sorry. Like that.
The Red Bulls were not.
The Red Bulls were not even a factor, dude. I'm sorry. John Tolkien with his ugly ass haircut, bro. You were never winning any. Look. The camera's mad now. How did that even happen?
Why does it do that?
I don't know.
How are you doing that? Because sometimes
I don't know.
Streaming and
I think we can turn it.
Right
Wait. Go to the camera.
It did it on a work Zoom meeting the other day.
That's
I was
sick.
Like, stop.
Wait. Go to the Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it.
We'll
after
do
the
it.
stream.
Yeah, we've had enough technical difficulties on this stream, but I feel like it became a banger stream when it was like a two-man became a two-man operation, so it actually worked out for the better.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's we went a long time on
Next.
Well, we were going on the earthquakes, and then it became Jordan as the 9 discourse.
It's you don't have to be.
We'll never die, but
you don't have to be sorry for triggering me, chat. This is the content. This is
he likes getting triggered. He likes getting triggered.
Yeah. Also, James, yes, I will take Ricky Puig over Alvaro Snack. Done. That's not even an argument. Ricky Puig is the best 10 in the entire league. He is one of the best 10s in the entire world. I truly believe that.
I think that might be like a accurate.
Like, I'm not even joking. Like, that dude is he is my favorite. I mean, if I'm gonna look across the league, he is my favorite.
He's the
player.
only like for Ladero that I could think of.
Yeah.
Because they're that quality that they both have of just like non-stop work rate and also like defending at that position. Like Ladero was such a dog on defense. Ricky Puig has that same quality. That is hard to find. There's a reason that there's no other player like that really in the league right now.
Yeah, and he was only a free transfer because
the Galaxy
got mad.
The Galaxy cooked at a historic level with that because
but they also convinced
he's 22 and at Barcelona.
Yeah.
It doesn't get talked about enough, like how they managed to get that profile to the league. Is there any comp for that? Like of a team pulling a Barcelona player with that pedigree at that age?
No.
Like
I mean, it's the David Beckham. Like when they brought David Beckham, that's about it that I can compare. But I don't even think it was the age. Like
no, wasn't it? He was way older.
I mean, Thiago Almada, I guess you can compare, but I think that Ricky Puig is 10
so
times
much
the
better.
player.
He's so much better.
Yeah. Thiago Almada did put in a fun shift during that Argentina match, though.
Against
Brazil.
He's very good, but like I don't know if he's like the thing that makes them like guys like Ladero and Ricky Puig so unique is just that work rate and like not just the defending well, but like the willingness to do that.
Yeah.
Like the physical ability that it takes, but then also like Ladero freaking loved playing D.
Yeah, that was like a part of him.
I do we are fine with Rusnak on this pod, but like I do miss having a 10 that just was running everywhere like a freaking maniac the entire game. That was awesome.
Which I do think that's probably something they'll look for in the next 10 that they sign, is that like who they'll pick the U22 for? I feel like that's got to be it.
I also
right?
like it. I do miss it, and it was fun to watch, and it brought a lot to the team. I don't think Rusnak is like a liability on defense to the point where it affects the team defense at all. That if it did, I would be concerned about it. But like they were the best defense in the league last year with him starting week in, week out. So as long as they're doing that, I don't really care if the number 10 is like a insane dog on defense.
Right.
But it is sick having a 10 like that.
I think to also speak, there are weaknesses in Ricky Puig's game. like in the way that he plays specifically.
Gives the ball away a lot.
That's what I'm saying. Like he is a turnover merchant,
Mhm.
and like I still think that he's an incredible player. But like, yeah, there's something to be said. Again, MLS is a very different league than a lot of these other leagues in the world. Like it's so much more physical. It's so much more demanding than a lot of these leagues. And like, you know, Ricky Puig plays really well, but he also, you can see he has games like you say Ghost Snack, but like there's Ghost Puig, Puig Ghost. Push snack? I don't know, whatever. Like he literally will turn over the ball and it will lead to a goal.
That's
Like
the-
that is literally happens a lot.
The flaw in his game is that he's hyper aggressive to a fault. Like that's where you can get to those Galaxy teams they or like the Galaxy team of last year that was so super good and won MLS Cup. They were obviously, I think, the best team in the league, and we were talking about how we were a Galaxy podcast last year.
Yeah,
you know, somewhat facetiously, but not really. But like that Galaxy team, that's why I thought the Sounders could actually get at them in that game last year, is because they had that flaw of it wasn't just Ricky Puig, it was like their whole team was kind of wired like that. And Greg Vanney like freely admitted it. He's like, yeah, that's just how we do it. And we do that and we let the chips fall where they may. And I respect that a lot. Like I do.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun to watch, but it also means is that you can get got in any given game.
Yeah.
Which
it's true.
Like the way that the Sounders play is it is like harder to get at them like that when they're at their best level. The Galaxy, they don't care. Like they just would go for the glory. So
I see the Brigade's in chat. Brigade, listen, this is my final beg. None of you are members. None of you are channel members. Okay. This is something that I'm just going to announce here. We're going to be expanding our channel membership offering. We're going to do some stuff. Me and Ari have to like lock it down, but we're actually going to be offering stuff as the channel membership. But I will say one thing. We literally added the Ghost Snack emoji for you.
And no one joined.
And you're here, you're just sending the normal ghost emoji when you could be sending literally a photo of Albert Rosnack as a ghost in this chat that we paid for to be made for you. So if we don't get at least one member from the Ghost Snack Brigade, maybe I'm going to start banning you. I'm just kidding. I never ban you guys.
Have you heard the LA Galaxy fans crash out over the Christian Roldan foul? They say Christian.
Yeah, well,
I
Galaxy
remember that.
fans are not the smartest, us included.
I do remember that. I don't remember exactly what happened.
It was okay. I'm sorry. It was literally a Pedro de la Vega foul that would have done it, because Pedro de la Vega fouled him like right before.
Yeah,
and then Christian Roldan had like
it's kind of unclear when it happened.
It was
the thing, is that they were saying that they knew when it happened, but it's like no one knows. He was playing on it for like 10 minutes.
Greg Vanney literally, if you watch the documentary, the MLS documentary, it literally, it's Greg Vanney's like, wait, what happened? Like he's coming up to him after and he's like, I think I did my knee. And he's crying. And Greg Vanney's like, bro, you just played. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's just
people were clowning on Seattle for they were like, oh, they got assisted on by a guy with a blown ACL. I couldn't tell. Like he was just going. He looked like
I thought he
was crazy.
I thought he just took a knock.
He's
dude.
a dog for that.
He's insane.
That was
Jamesinho, you do buy super chats. That's true. But I'm just saying we appreciate you. This was a dunk at Rise. Just kidding.
He really just wanted to plug the.
I just wanted to plug the membership. Yeah.
All right. We're coming up on 2 hours. I didn't have a heck of a lot else to get to tonight. I had Stadium Discourse written down. Let's do that for like a couple minutes.
Yeah, I'm literally, I've got nothing going on. I had a shitty day at work, so this has been fun.
We had our video come out today where we clipped up when I was streaming and talking about the Stadium Discourse, and the comment section is doing pretty well. So
Reese, I'm sorry, Reese.
I figured figured we can throw down some takes on that because we got people talking about it. Basically, I mean, it's just the same topic I was talking about at the time, which is the idea of the Sounders getting a soccer specific stadium and what that would entail and if it's a good idea at all. And people have got a lot of takes on it, but here, no, I'm going to just lay down my where I think my final take lies
Yeah.
with this, which is that if they want to get like their own soccer specific stadium and do it in a location that wouldn't be a downgrade from where Lumen is at location wise, the only option that I can think of that satisfies that criteria, and this is it, is if they renovate, like, and I have no idea about the logistics of this, if it's possible, if it would work, if it could ever actually happen. But if they renovate Memorial, okay, and like say in this hypothetical world, they put like a super awesome state of the art, like lights out soccer specific stadium right there, I could get down with that.
Yeah. Well, you know that's already happening, right? Memorial is going to be renovated by the OVG group, which is the same group that did the
but it's
Climate Pledge Arena.
Oh, but that's not like for Sounders use.
No, the city's going to continue to own it.
Right.
It's going to be the same deal where it's like a land.
So that's like
whatever.
that's happening. I'm saying like if the Sounders could ever do that, that's the only location I could think of where I would be like, you could have a comparable game day experience and accessibility as you have at Lumen Field right there by the Space Needle. And I'd be cool with that. The idea of like doing it out at Long Acres, I just don't like that, man. I think that is such a huge downgrade on like the game day experience and the accessibility.
Yeah.
Like I think you're just downgrading a lot if you do that. Like I
thought them buying the Long Acres facility was weird in the first place. Like I understand that land is really hard to come around in Seattle, but it just felt like, I don't know. It just feels weird to me. You're nowhere close to anything. And their whole plan was like, well, we want to be able to have a place where we can develop a stadium. That was initially one of their thoughts.
I think my impression of why they invested in Long Acres was Starfire is way outdated, like realistically.
Sure, absolutely.
So, like,
but that's also
wanted,
in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but like, I mean, the location of your training facility isn't like, I don't really care about that. But like, I think the way they were thinking of it was we need a new state of the art, big facility for just like credibility, man. Like when you showed players Starfire, you know, shout out to the Dempsey and all the big stars that came to the team despite that. But like, it's not. Hey, look at this. There's
right.
You know.
Well, and they didn't even own Starfire, I'm pretty sure. So it was like it's the same thing. Like people saying, "Oh, well, Starfire was dog shit, man." I was playing games at Starfire while the Sounders were training.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, though.
Getting changed in a bathroom just with urinal. Like it wasn't even like a locker room. Like
that's why they upgraded that.
Yeah, there's an interview with Steph Fry where he's like, "Yeah, that." It was bad scenes at Starfire. It is. It's a dump. It's trash. So like
it was way outdated.
It was way outdated, but I felt like there was an opportunity to, I don't know, do something different, do something in the city. There is land
for a training facility.
Yeah, man. Like I don't know.
I don't care about that.
Okay,
like,
fuck the training facility.
If
we're back to the
if
stadium.
It's out at if they can train wherever, but like if they put the stadium out there, I just think that. I love the Lumen Fields location. Yeah. I don't think you can beat it. And it does suck that the monster truck rallies take precedent. It does. But
yeah, I've got an idea for you.
Yeah.
You know all those parking lots in Northgate?
Mm-hmm.
You know how there's like a bajillion, just build the stadium there right off the light rail in Northgate?
That's actually not a bad idea. Isn't that where the Kraken practice?
Yeah, like you got the Iceplex over there, and then like there's the whole old mall, and then you have all of those parking lots for that. Why don't we just do it there?
If it's light rail, anywhere that's like in the city and light rail accessible,
yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see myself supporting that. Renton, like building their own stadium at Long Acres where it's like not accessible at all and really far away from the actual city. I don't like it. I think it seems like and maybe that's sentimental attachment to Lumen, but I just think that they have such a sick location with that that's so centralized and like easy. I don't know.
Go
I
M's.
want to.
Floating
Did
pitch.
the M's win?
Did the M's win? Reese says JP Crawford double play to end it. Let's go. Shout out. Go M's.
Shout out baseball.
Here's another one that I thought about because the Sounders, the Sonics Arena guy. You know who I'm talking about? He bought those 2 parcels of land downtown.
Yeah.
Right there. Get Sonics guy to build it.
If there is, my impression is that there's just like,
yeah, Chris Hansen, the
Well,
pedophile guy.
the way that
not he's not a pedophile. I'm just saying the guy who
to
to catch a predator guy.
to catch a predator.
But he's not actually that guy.
Oh, it's a guy who's like coincidentally.
Yeah, they're both named Chris
Hansen.
Hansen.
Okay, gotcha.
They're
Gotcha.
different guys.
It's not the To Catch a Predator.
different guys.
If there is a location like that has like the same accessibility, but like one of the other things I was talking about in the video is just like I feel like having the stadium right in the city gives it a Seattle vibe and identity, more so than you get for a stadium like those stadiums. I went to the one in Bridgeview where the Chicago Fire used to play.
Yeah,
it didn't feel like you were in Chicago,
dude. The New York Red Bulls one is awful.
Yeah, like
awful.
There was an era where teams thought that building them out in the burbs was like the play because that was the demographic they were was like families and stuff.
Yeah,
it ultimately became clear that the MLS product is much more like a young person thing than like a suburban family type thing, and that stadiums that are like downtown, easily accessible like that are better. So teams kind of went away from the putting them out in the burbs. But like I remember being at the one in Bridgeview for the Fire game a few years ago when they still played there, and I was just like, this is like I wouldn't be able to like at Lumen. You're like, I'm in Seattle. Like, there's nowhere else I could be. The one in Bridgeview, I was like, I could be in any state, and I would have no idea. Like if you didn't tell me,
the Seattle U Championship field. There's too much. It wouldn't work. Unfortunately, you literally do have to have parking, and I don't know where you would build it. It's too compact in that area. I don't know how you would get you'd have to vacate at least a couple of streets, and I just don't think they're going to do that in Capitol Hill. I would love it to be there though. That, or they have the other playing fields. I think on the other side of Championship Field, where kind of do you know where that Carmelo's is? Carmelo's Tacos that's on that street.
Oh yeah.
There's like also the coffee shop. Like across the street from there, you can do that. People have said Husky Stadium. What do you think about that?
Like build it.
No, just like play at Husky Stadium.
But the whole point is to like get your own facility.
Yeah.
Like location wise, Husky Stadium is one of the coolest stadiums ever. But
there are places though down in Soto where you could totally buy land, destroy some buildings, and build something. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's not out of the realm of possibility. It's just that I think someone else said it. It's like there's no shot that this ownership group has the money to invest in that real estate.
Yeah.
Like you effectively have to bring someone else in, or you have to win the Club World Cup.
We got a couple of good chats here. Choices would be Memorial, Terminal 46, Salvation Army buildings to the east of Lumen. Is Terminal 46? What is that?
That's that's on the water, I think. Am I wrong? Pull up Google Maps, bro.
Newman,
Maybe we should just pull up Google Maps. GeoGuessr?
How many seats do you want the stadium to have? Because I feel like Sounders attendance
35.
fluctuates. Yeah, 30 or 35 is what.
That's where I'm at.
Is where I would want it, and I feel like they can definitely pack that.
Yeah.
I guess my thing is that Hanauer made it sound like the Longacres idea is the ultimate like plan or goal, and I don't like that.
I think it's lacking any sort of like long-term sight. Like yes, it's easy because you have the land, and I know that let's be real here, Ari. I know that they're talking this big game. They're just trying to leverage Lumen into not treating them like a like a piece of trash.
I hope that's it.
Like, there's no, if they like, okay, I have heard rumblings that people hate the business manager for the Sounders. They say he's incompetent. This is like on spec, rumor has it kind of thing. From what I've heard from certain people, they're just like, he just doesn't know what he's doing. Wade, whatever, is that him?
No, not Wade.
Not Wade. Whatever the business guy is, I don't fucking know. Who cares?
Yeah, I know.
But there's no way, because these decisions don't get made without talking to a lot of people. These decisions don't get made without waiting, like all of the stuff. It's just that they would understand how many fans they would lose. You can't unlock that many. Dude, you'd be cooked.
The floating pitch.
Hugh Weber, yes, you're right.
The floating Sounders should play on the sound build the floating pitch.
Can someone make us
That
like
would
a graphic for like a YouTube video where it can just be like the Sounders do stadium and it's just like on a cruise ship?
Get caught up in the battle about rezoning Soto. We don't need that stress. That is true.
Dude, we're gonna have to fight with the port. Oh my god, we could have our own Sonic
Jefferson
skate.
Golf Course. We're getting some there's some interesting
Yeah,
ideas.
dude, fuck that golf course. Let's do that.
Where's that? Where's the Jefferson Golf Course?
Is that one's north, I think. Actually, I can't remember. This dude, pull up Google Maps. I'm telling you, we should play GeoGuessr here.
Like just
Yeah. Like, because it's got to be so. Because like you can zone it. Yeah, Beacon Hill. Yeah.
hold on. I gotta pull it up for the people.
Yeah. Because like it's got to be. If we think about it, we got to go like, okay, so we see where we are now. Go Street View in Soto. Let's find some buildings we could tear down.
I don't know how to use this.
Okay, scroll down. Just here. Do you want me to drive? Sorry, I'm just gonna Street View.
Whoa.
This building, bro. You're telling me we need this? We don't need this building or this building.
Eliminate
right
all-
here. Done.
Eliminate all this.
Just found a stadium site.
Look how fast you did that.
Look at this, guys.
1715
Occidental South. We will be in contact. We're stealing your land. We're not even buying it. We're taking it from you. Eminent domain. Get ready to learn lawsuits, buddy.
Boomer Ari. Okay, all right. I was Street View for Google Maps. That is above my. That is Showbox.
Dude, who cares? They have another one, bro. This is the Soto one. Okay, how many times have you been to a concert where you look up on your phone, you're like, oh, it's the Showbox. Okay, I go to the Showbox, but it's actually the Soto Showbox. So you actually went to the wrong venue and there's a whole nother event going on, right? And they somehow let you into the event and you're like, why is there an EDM DJ playing right now? I'm supposed to be seeing a rapper right now. This is a very weird opener. And so you sit there for an hour and you're like, wow, maybe this isn't the opener. Maybe I went to the wrong place. And then by the time that you get down to the other concert, the show is halfway done, and they also can't let you in because you had already scanned your ticket at the other place, and they somehow let you in. And so you had to buy another ticket, and it was really embarrassing for you. So, like, honestly, demolish it.
I didn't think we were gonna get to demolish the Showbox, but here we are. I think ultimately where I land is like accessibility and like a actual Seattle location are important things to me.
Yeah.
And I would feel like it was a downgrade and not a good call to sacrifice those things. And it's definitely, I think you're right that part of it might be that they're trying to get better treatment. And honestly, like I was rewatching the original discussion today, and I just
do not say volunteer park. Take that back. That is a terrible take. Sorry, continue. I just saw something horrific in the chat.
What happened?
You suggested volunteer park for the stadium site.
I don't even remember what I was talking about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I forgot.
Can't wait to have the next Sounders Stadium to be where the taco truck parks, the one that overcharged Noah that one time. Yeah, exactly, bro. The one in that one gas station where the gas was $5.58 and the tacos were $8 a piece, but they charged me $25. Yeah, exactly.
build on top of the showbox so I can watch the Sounders and then hit a concert after. Okay.
This
okay.
the showbox can do shows at the. You can have a little concert space in the thing. There's already one at Lumen. They literally have a concert space there. Done.
Yeah. I just don't like the Long Acres idea.
It's
I hope
bad,
they
man.
don't do that. I hope they don't do that.
It's
either
bad.
way, this wouldn't be a. Oh, I remember what I was saying. Like it, the fact that like they get displaced for stuff
Yeah.
when they're in tournaments that aren't the league season and stuff, that is stupid. If you like the monster trucks, don't pay rent for that place, man. There is no way. I'm sorry. Like if it's even if it's CCC and you haven't like accounted for that, the Lumen Field schedulers haven't accounted for that. Too bad. Like, what am I missing with that? Like you say, too bad. There's Champions League. You either reschedule your monster truck. It's not about the monster trucks. It's just any event like that.
Yeah.
You either reschedule it or you're not having it. Period. You don't pay rent here. The soccer team does. Like what is that?
It's
Like-
a shitty landlord. It's literally the Sounders are experiencing a slumlord, or they're experiencing a really bad roommate where like their mom comes to stay and they kick you out of your own room and have her stay there. You know what I mean? Like that's to me what it feels like. It's like you're in this abusive relationship with, first of all, the Seahawks are fucking ass. So the fact that they're even chirping at all, it's like we're going to move that team to Oklahoma. Like, I'm sorry, dude. What the hell? Like, I can't.
The
like,
Seahawks at least like play there though, and also like
it's
pay-
just so weird that they treat someone must have said something must have happened, because there's no reason they would treat their second biggest tenant or their biggest tenant, because the Seahawks, run the show.
right.
Why would you treat the person who's bringing you revenue, bringing more games? There are more soccer games at that stadium than there are football games. There are more soccer games in 1 year than there are 4 years of playing football. Now you have the Rain playing there. It's like one season of soccer is like 8 years of football. And you treat them like shit. And then people are like, oh, wow, Lumen Field actually sucks. And then they're like, why would I come to a Seahawks game? Because it's just shitty like this, but more people.
The monster truck thing had me crashing out.
Yeah, dude.
And that is stuff like that is why I can understand the desire to have just your own facility where you're in full control and you don't have to deal with stuff like that. That would be nice.
Just buy Lumen.
Just buy Lumen.
Sure.
How about the Seahawks play at Long Acres?
Yeah, dude.
And then
Honestly, that's closer to their fan base of like
And-
East Coast guys with trucks that have truck nuts on them. So like, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
okay, I like this. Even better idea. No one already run a pyramid scheme and a crypto scam, become billionaires, buy both the Seahawks and the Sounders. Boom.
You
easy.
guys don't want me
Now
to.
you're
Yeah,
thinking.
you don't want us to own the Seahawks though, because we will play fantasy football with that team, just because it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Unless you had anything else on the stadium discourse, I only had one league-wide storyline really to get to, and
Let's
then
do
we
it.
can wrap it up. We're at what, 2? We're
Yeah,
over
whatever.
2
I don't care.
hours.
I got nowhere to be.
Well, all I had written down was that CF Montreal fired their coach, which is like, I feel like we have to note it every time there's a coach firing, but it is funny that it just doesn't seem like that big a story. And honestly, the only reason that I bring it up is because isn't CF Montreal like funny? Like they're just like this mysterious team that I follow them like by far the least of any club in the league, and I've been on their like media availabilities a few times over the years, and it's all in French and they don't translate it, so it's just like this mysterious group of guys who are talking all in French. Like no one who doesn't speak French has any idea what's going on, and then they just send it out there. Sometimes their team is okay, but most of the time they're pretty bad, and then they just fire their coach. And I saw that they fired their coach, and I was like, I forgot that team was a thing.
They're not real, and neither is
Like,
Montreal. I'm sorry. That entire region where they're like, it is racist if you don't speak French, and if you don't put the French on the sign, you will be deported. We do not like Americans
Your
or
French accent's
foreigners.
not bad.
It's like, bro, you live in Canada. You are not French, bro. Bro think he the colonizer, but he the colonized. Like, come on, be so for real. You're so dumb. I hate Montreal, dude.
Have you been? I've never been.
No,
You're
I've never
okay.
been. I just like, I don't even have to visit. I probably wouldn't even be allowed. I don't speak
Not
French.
definitely not now.
Yeah.
Find this. Here, another one from Asul. These are good ideas. Noah and Ari become cult-like god figures after bringing the NBA back to Seattle
True.
after becoming crypto pyramid scheme billionaires. I am down for the crypto pyramid scheme billionaire idea.
Would you guys buy like lobbing coiners or something? Is that NFTs? Are those a thing still? I don't know.
Your French accent was a hit.
Thank you.
I've heard Montreal has a good music scene. I don't really know. That's what I'm saying, though. I don't know anything
Okay,
about
what
it.
city? Okay, when you're like just talking to a random person, you're like, oh, where are you from? They're like, oh, I'm from Kansas City. And you're like, oh, that's cool. Like, what do you do? They're like, oh, the food's good. We have a great music scene. Everywhere has a good music scene, Ari. It's like, what does that even mean?
I think Montreal is supposedly a mecca of that. I don't know. I've never been. I'm just saying.
Yeah. French Canadians are not allowed.
Seahawks with 600K in attendance last year, Sounders with 500K. I think we could beat them that way. Can we get the 100? Yeah, I mean, actually, that's actually closer than I would have thought, because
close.
I mean, the Seahawks have way less games, but they put 70 in there a game, and the Sounders put closer to 30 these days. So
I think
that's actually not that far off. Caleb, we're about to wrap up, so it might not be the best time to crash in.
Are you trying to debate
my
my French Canadian hatred?
I'm actually gonna go ahead and hit the lo-fi.
There we go.
We can start wrapping up here. If you've got any last questions or topics you want us to hit, go ahead and drop them in chat. We'll be around for a few more minutes and then get out of here. Thank you all for tuning in and bearing with me through the minor technical difficulties. I got my mic cable back now, so theoretically that won't happen again. It was funny, Noah. I was like sitting here getting ready to stream, and I was like, all right, like I know this whole routine now.
Easy.
I got the lights, I got the technology set up, I've switched the input, and then honestly the feeling of starting to stream and then realizing there was no cable was pretty mortifying. But we salvaged. We salvaged the situation. We had a good show. We had good turnout.
We did. It was a good night.
So we always like to see that. Appreciate everyone for hanging out.
Yeah.
Let's start to wrap up here. Nerd Farmer Podcast. Nate, is that you? I think that's Nate Bowling. Shout out, Nate.
Shout out.
Perhaps this is a dumb question, but wouldn't it be cheaper for the Sounders to buy Lumen outright and manage them themselves and building a stadium? But like would the Squawks ever not play there,
Well, I mean, they probably would play there, but I think First and Goal is owned by the dead guy, Paul Allen, his like sister or whatever, who manages his estate, and I think she wants to sell stuff. But here's the problem: they would buy Lumen, and then they would get overcharged for it, and then they would just like, there's so many. Dude, Lumen is like, it's a fine stadium. It's all right. It's just like, it's not exactly it for soccer. It's not exactly it for soccer.
I think it works pretty well. I mean, there's the whole turf issue, but I don't really care about that. I think like my take on the turf thing is that it's become like they've turned it into a part of their home field advantage.
That's
because
true.
Other teams are scared of it, and other teams have historically like not played their superstars in the game sometimes because they're like, oh, turf, there's no like Zlatan actually, to be fair, played on it, but like there was games where I think Vela didn't play on it, and there's definitely like Steven Gerrard, guys like that, they would be like, oh no shot. It's like, what, like you step on turf and you forget how to kick the ball or something. I get that, like supposedly it causes more injuries, but there's actually literally not, to my knowledge, statistical evidence for that.
It's not.
People
true.
say that like it's a proven
the happy
fact.
foot, sad foot guys.
Yeah, but like not just them. Like people, every time there's an injury in a game at Lumen, people are like, "Oh, see the turf did it," and it's like that literally proves guys get hurt on grass too. What are we?
Yeah.
Like if anyone's got stats.
I'm sorry.
Actually
Did we not see the poor state of the grass at Cruz Azul, where it was just like soaking wet, and like everyone was slipping everywhere, and then you get a non-contact blown out ACL injury from a guy that was on grass. Hey, sorry, guess what? It's all the same.
There's just no, like, if I ask somebody to go find the stats that prove that turf causes more injuries, you literally wouldn't be able to do it. The science is not, like, we just don't really know.
Guess what, guys? It's professional sports where you're running the whole time. You're gonna get hurt.
And it
Like,
is,
injuries are a part of every sport.
it is harder on your body. Like, I've heard guys say, like, my body feels
You do feel it.
worse
You do
after a
feel
game
it.
on turf than it does after I play a game on grass. I would say most players prefer grass, probably for that reason. But as far as data showing if it causes more injuries or not, that just isn't a thing. And it bothers me when people say that, like, as if they don't have to prove it. They're like, oh yeah, well, the turf obviously causes more injuries than the grass.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, it does not provenly. Not provenly.
Grass
Henri
and
wouldn't
turf
play.
discourse.
Beckham did play on it.
Yeah,
There's been a lot of
Theory.
guys that just don't do it.
it's silly. I mean, it's just whatever. I don't understand. I mean, I don't. Modern, especially like modern MLS. If you're like, I'm not playing on turf. What?
Oh my God! Remember when they laid down the grass for the Manchester United friendly,
I do.
and it was the biggest shit show.
It was terrible.
That was so, like, no one got hurt, so I can say this. It was really funny because they were slipping and sliding everywhere. And there's one point where someone was trying to line up a free kick and they Charlie Browned it, like they were running up to the ball and like slipped and launched themselves in the air. And I'm sitting there like, isn't this stupider than just playing it on turf?
Yeah.
Like, was that for Copa or what was that? Why did they lay
They
that
put it down on Copa for Copa.
They put it down for Copa and then Man
They
U
did,
played on it.
yeah.
It wasn't for Man U.
Copa was a nightmare, dude. And literally, because like I photographed that game, it was like 2 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
They like put it on a rise. It was so weird.
That was so
weird.
That was so
Which is
dumb.
like essentially what they're gonna do, or I guess they're gonna tear it all out. But like,
We're
I
really
don't-
that afraid of turf that we're gonna do that.
but
When they host
also-
World Cup games, they're gonna do that.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying also like you're tearing it all out, and then they're gonna put the turf back in after you have the grass done. Why?
Well, but like the Copa grass was not like they laid it.
Yeah,
it was like a
laid it on
blanket
top.
of
yeah.
grass that they just put on top of the turf, and it did not work.
No.
I don't know why they thought that would work. It's one of the worst
Yeah.
ideas I've seen. Didn't work at all.
Yeah. They straight up deleted a couple of rows at Lumen. Yeah, and people bought those season tickets. They literally purchased season tickets that were not there. That's like a whole thing. That's like actually known. They showed up to the game and their seats were just legitimately gone. Sounders sold them the tickets. Sounders were like, oh, I didn't know. That's another thing. First and Goal did that. First and Goal allowed them to sell that, and then they just deleted their seats. They're putting in retractable seats. So like
People are
can come in and
dropping
out,
turf v grass studies in the
but-
chat.
I don't see any sources cited. You said found this on Google. All right. Well, I found
I'll
this on Google.
I'll look into it, and if I can find any meaningful information to see, because like sure there might be anecdotal like, oh, they measured this and that, but like there is no scientific consensus is my point. Like there might be one sample size of data that shows more ankle injuries. I don't know. I'll look into that, but I've never seen anything where I'm like, oh, okay, you're statistically proven to be more likely to injure yourself on turf than on grass. I think that is like the NFLPA, what you're saying, they did it to help push their grass agenda. They probably skewed that.
Grass agenda
We
to
have
the moon.
We're gonna have to do an agenda check.
Agenda check on grass.
Yeah.
Jesus
But-
Christ. This is the type of dumbass shit that you get into when you follow soccer. It's incredible.
The turf. I
love this league, Ari.
I have
I
a
love this league.
lot of friends like in the media and just random fans that like really
Not to flex. You have friends.
but that like are in the turf is the worst thing. Like the Happy Foot, Sad Foot.
No,
boys,
they
that-
don't know anything, guys.
Yeah.
They're a comedy podcast.
Yeah, that's true.
They're also wait. That's actually a really good thing. I was gonna. They're really close to 1,000 subs, everyone. So if you guys can go and sub to Happyfoot Sadfoot, you don't have to watch their videos. You can put them on mute, whatever.
They're our friends.
They're literally almost to 1,000. When you hit 1,000, you get monetized, and they put in a lot of work to their stuff. They come on our podcast. We go on theirs all the time. They're our friends. Please go subscribe to Happyfoot Sadfoot. They're on the road to 1,000, which we know the grind. That was tough.
I am thankful every day that we made it. Hanauer confirmed that the Sounders will bring in temporary for the Club World Cup. I guess I did know that, but totally forgot. So it's not even just for the actual World Cup. Will be higher quality than previous.
That's just so stupid. They should have just installed it for the whole season. I fucking hate the Seahawks, man. I'm sorry. Like, you can't be a Sounders fan and like the Seahawks.
I mean,
that's my take.
I am.
Okay, well, I'm an Eagles fan. I literally was a Seahawks fan my whole life, and then I moved to Pennsylvania, and I officially renounced my. So I just don't care. I don't care.
That's a better team to be a fan of.
Yeah, I know. Saquon too. Go Birds.
Go Birds. All right, I think we can wrap it right there as we come up on 2.5 hours. Thank you all so much for tuning in to another stream. Love getting to do these live shows and interact with everybody. It's a lot of fun. Noah, thank you for coming over with the cable and joining the stream.
Of course.
I think it actually it ended up making a better show than it would have been without it. So shout out to the technical difficulties at the beginning of the show. Shout out to the mic cable, which salvaged the audio. If you haven't done so yet, everyone's still here. Like the video. Like the video.
If we don't have 50 plus likes, I'm going to jump out of our window right now.
If this doesn't hit 50 likes, I'm going to crash out and we're going to shut down the show and never record again. Never record again. So it's a lot of pressure on you all.
You literally have our lives.
The future of Lobbing Scorchers depends on you all helping us get to 50 likes. I imagine everyone here is subbed to the channel, but if you're not, please sub to the channel. Turn on notifications. You'll find out every time we go live. Follow us on Instagram if you haven't yet. We're kind of heating up on there. The Ryan Kent graphic you made got like 270 likes or something. So we're kind of we're doing well on there. We're so back.
New episode of Lobbing Scorchers on Saturday morning. That's our interview with.
Oh yeah, I already plugged that. But like,
I did.
Let's do we can do post game live, can't we?
Yeah, we'll do post game live.
We're gonna do
it's an away game.
We're gonna do post game live on Saturday because it's an away game, and we're gonna take calls. We didn't do that for the last game, partially because it was 0-0, but also because it was a home game and it's hard. It's a lot harder for us to line it up during those. But road games, it's no problem. So we'll be going live post game, taking calls. If you haven't tuned into one of those yet, they're fun. They're fun. Like, we give the link, the people call in and you get to drop your takes live on the show. So definitely stop by for that. Anything else? I
don't know. Lobbing Scorchers 10 Sounders FC podcast crossover 1. Hey, Zach and Brad, give us a call, bro. We're here.
Yeah,
we'll do it.
I haven't reached out to them.
Yeah.
We were just talking about. Yeah. Okay. People are asking about post game.
But we'll be there.
Yes, post game live.
Maybe I'll even show Saturday. Up here so we can do it together.
Yeah, we can do that. You don't have to, but
I just like hanging out with you. You know,
I know it is a lot.
It's like we're actually.
Someone commented they were like the best shows are like when it's the boys on the couch, and I was like,
there we go. Yeah, Colton should host the home game pod. Oh yeah, but he goes to some of the games. Colton, we will get Colton in here though.
Yeah,
we'll get Colton to join.
That's a good idea, Joe.
Yeah, we did like having Colton on. All right, we rambled, dude. All right,
we're out of here.
Bye, chat. Have a good night.
Have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.
The Seattle Sounders brand new 2025 kit is here. Inspired by two traditional Southern Coast Salish weaving techniques, twilling and twinning. These techniques, passed down through generations, honor the resilience, deep-rooted ties, creativity that define the cultural fabric of this region. The striking deep blue jersey will be worn by the Sounders for the next 2 seasons to honor the club's deep connection with the Puget Sound and shared responsibility as stewards of the greater Salish Sea watershed. Backing up that commitment, the Seattle Sounders will donate up to $50,000 to benefit community charities around the Puget Sound region. To get your very own Salish Sea kit, visit lobbingscorchers.com/kit. That's lobbingscorchers.com/KIT.